You were going to get a tattoo?
Yeah, I was going to get a tattoo last night at Dream Lab because it was their 5th anniversary.
Were they doing tattoos there for the
Yeah, they were, yeah. And they were like $30. And Matt's like, I'll pay for it if you do it. I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll do it.
What would the tattoo have been?
It was going to be a pigeon from Animaniacs with its mouth open, and it kind of looks like...
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a 5 underneath its eye.
What are the Animaniacs' names?
Yakko, Wacko, and Dot.
God, he's good.
Yeah, this guy knows his shit.
Welcome to the Animaniacs cast.
I like Animaniacs. Have you guys ever seen Hysteria? Where it's like, it's the same people. Yeah, he's looking it up now. Yeah. Hysteria. It's like just a bunch of shorts and reoccurring segments with characters from history.
Speaking of reoccurring segments.
Jesus.
The news.
Well, we got to do the intro, man.
Yeah, well,
you can't just stream the news and start a podcast, Tyler.
All right, everybody, welcome to Hair of the Dogcast. I am Tyler, and who do I got here with me? The usual suspects. Introduce yourselves, please.
Hair of the Dogcast is part of the Tokyo Beat Podcast Network. Make sure to check out other amazing shows from Tokyo Beat.
God, I was going to say that next.
Hair of the Dogcast.
Yeah, sure.
is a video game and beers podcast. We talk about video games and beer and football, video games,
apparently,
and football beer. Because my name is Brad.
God, I'm Dylan.
And I'm hungover.
Yeah, I'm hungover too.
It is a proper hair of the dog today.
I am surprisingly not.
Jesus.
It's because you were on that wacky tobacco yesterday.
Oh, man, if I had wacky tobacco, I'd get drunk way less.
Yeah, it does help.
Oh, my God. I was going to get the tattoo, right?
Okay.
But I was so far on a list, and it was like 2 away from me. And my wife was pretty drunk. Everyone was pretty drunk. And the tattoo artist got tired.
I'm tired.
And I was waiting. I was literally just waiting to get that tattoo. I was sticking around, and I was like drinking water, and I was kind of half chatting it up with people. And then there was beer pong. And I definitely, I stuck around for no reason because I couldn't even get the tattoo.
We have some beers we're drinking today from Ryan, as we always do, because Ryan sends us so many delicious beers.
Lovely.
This one is from Fort Worth, from Panther Island Brewing in Fort Worth. This is called Brunette. It's a firecracker amber ale that's going to stand right here.
That's going to stand right here? Is that what it says?
That's what it says.
What is that like a Texas thing?
Maybe. Also like a women's rights thing, perhaps.
Oh.
I don't know.
I like that.
But
it's a nice can.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
But you wouldn't catch me having that out in public. It looks like a Barbie doll.
I'm excited for the new Barbie movie. I've heard it's supposed to be pretty good.
The trailer was kind of cool.
It's intriguing.
Yes.
What's the plot synopsis?
All I know is there's some music.
Barbie and she's going to party. That's the synopsis.
Greta Gerwig is like the writer-director. It's got Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, Simu Liu, however you say his name.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. What are we doing today, Tyler?
We're going to talk about football, the history of football, because the Super Bowl is coming up.
History of football video games, hopefully.
Yes.
Football was started by Richie Football back in the day. It's an American sport.
You mostly use your hands.
But before we get into football, let's talk some news. It's been a minute since we did the news.
Yeah.
So we'll start with the most recent. The Last of Us is out. It's 2 episodes deep, and it is very good. It's been renewed by HBO for a second season after 2 episodes.
Very good. That's I like the show, but like for it to get renewed that quick is pretty awesome.
Yes. Have
well,
you
the
both seen
viewership was 22 mil. I've seen the first episode, yeah.
Yeah, 4.7 million debut day, and then 5.7 million for the debut of the second episode, which is a 22% increase, which is the largest second-week growth for any show in HBO's history.
Wow.
Yeah, that's good.
Huge. And it's going up against NFL playoffs, too. Like, the playoffs have been going on Sundays.
No shit.
So
the kids don't like sports these days, you know? The kids, they just want to play their video games.
Fuck, they're going to hate this episode then.
Yeah. Well,
we'll see what happens tonight.
I mean,
well,
I represent that demographic.
Well, the new episode tonight, it comes out after the playoff games, I think, so.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can watch both.
Yeah, because
Sure.
the episode comes out at 8. But with HBO Max, like, you can watch it anytime.
You can even watch it at 8:30.
That's my bedtime.
It's good. Will there be an episode during the Super Bowl?
Normally, HBO takes the week off.
Okay. I know they did with Game of Thrones, and it
Yeah.
made me really mad at the Super Bowl back in the day.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I was
Yeah.
very pissed at that too.
Yeah, back when I thought Game of Thrones was amazing.
So you guys have both watched it. Do you guys like it?
I did. I liked it. I can't escape the feeling that time is repeating itself, and I'm living in a bubble of the snake eating its own tail
You're in
over
in
and
horrible
over,
world.
infinitely for all time. And I wasn't bored. I was definitely intrigued because everyone's knocking it out of the park. On all levels, it's knocking it
Yeah.
out of the park. That's not the problem I have with it. It's well written. It feels amazing. Like there's a real tone and atmosphere, but I also can't escape the fact, like, I know where this is going.
You know what's great for me? I've never played the games.
Oh, no shit.
I don't know the story. I mean, I played the game for like an hour, and I was like, "This is not for me. I'd rather play video games." And so for me, it's not.
That's too true.
It's great though, because it's just the good story, which is what I think was one of the strong points of that game, most likely. So, just getting to watch an actor who I'm head over heels for, Pedro
Yeah,
Pascal,
I want to kiss
Yes.
him.
right on the mouth.
I would.
Yeah, he is phenomenal. Can't wait till next week. He's hosting SNL.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah, and it's
If you like
Mittenfest
that.
next week. If you guys want to go to Mittenfest, then
Mittenfest.
come back over here drunk and watch
Hell yeah.
SNL.
I bought a pair of mittens today. Yesterday.
Whoa, dude, you're ready for Mittenfest.
They are.
then.
They're the cool ones where they're like the mittens where your fingers are all together. They don't have like finger slots, but I can peel them back and they're fingerless.
for those
in
that
case
are
I need
You
to.
peel them back, but aren't they dangling around then? Aren't they just like...
No, it's like a one giant.
for those that are
Oh,
listening.
right.
Mittenfest is not a festival for mittens. It is a beer fest outside.
That you have to wear
Oh.
mittens. It's cold as shit
You
up here.
don't have to wear mittens, but it is encouraged.
I was going to chop off my hands and kind of be the outcast.
Yeah. No, I think the show is great. I love the director, the filmmaker. Forget his name, but he's the guy that did Chernobyl, which I
Chernobyl
thought
is
was
fantastic.
phenomenal.
Chernobyl was scary.
And
Yeah.
there are definitely points though when I'm watching, I'm like, this is a video game sequence when they're sneaking out of the thing.
Yeah. Well, the first episode is like both episodes have been to the T following the game.
Yeah.
It's been really pleasurable for me to watch because it is one of my favorite game franchises of all time. It does kind of suck because I know where the story's going, so I'm looking forward to.
I hope they change it.
I think they'll probably fill in some gaps, especially between the two games and probably after the second game if it keeps getting extended. But the set design has been amazing. The clickers look terrifying. They
Yeah, the
nailed it.
clickers
They look
good.
great.
They have the same
Practical,
actors
too.
They have the same actors that did the mocap for the TV show. So these guys have experience.
Nice touch.
Yeah,
That is
nice
a good touch.
Just I'm head over heels for it.
So we've had the Uncharted movie, which was actually pretty good. I didn't go see it in theaters, but watching it on Netflix, I thought it was a lot of fun.
Not a super faithful adaptation, but fun to watch.
We've had The Last of Us. I'm just wondering, when are we getting the Jack and Dexter series now? Probably right to Amazon Prime.
It all depends on when Chris Pratt is free.
As Dexter?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely
Chris
gonna be
Hemsworth is
Dexter.
Jack and Chris Pratt as Dexter.
Or they'll get like Joe Pesci, like old Joe Pesci to
Joe
be
Pesci
Dexter.
as Dexter?
Yeah, that's not a bad casting.
Oh, I'm in.
He just comes like, you motherfucker, you. Who said you could park your car
This
here?
is Jack's car.
Dexter used to be a human.
Yep.
I remember that.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I played those games. There's 3 of them, right?
There's 4 if you want to count Combat X Racing. There's 5 if you want to count Dexter, the PSP game. Which
And
is
I
just
count them all.
Yep.
They're like my children.
Moving on. The day before, that new zombie survival horror game is a clusterfuck. It was supposed to drop a gameplay trailer. And
The
have you
what?
guys...
I haven't even heard
It's
of
called
this.
The Day Before. I followed it for a little while. It's one of the highest wish list games on Steam consistently since it was announced in 2021. It gives off Last of Us vibes. They dropped a gameplay trailer back in 21 that was gameplay but heavily scripted. It looked like a lot of fun. It looked very ambitious. The engine looked really cool.
Single thing about this.
But it's a clusterfuck, you say?
Yeah, they were supposed to drop a gameplay trailer this week. But now, not only are they not dropping the gameplay trailer, but the game that was set to release in March has been delayed till November. And everybody's like, yo, what the fuck? We were about to get a gameplay trailer, and now the game's delayed and we get no content. What's going on? And this is where it gets weird. The developer cited trademark issues with the game.
zombies were already trademarked?
Well, the name The Day Before is trademarked by a private individual named Sun Jae Lee, who filed for the trademark back in 2021, and it got approval in August of 2022. And they said that they didn't find out about it until just recently, which is bullshit, because trademarks are public knowledge or public information, so you can look them up.
Sure.
So now people are thinking this is a way to cover their ass.
Oh.
Because there was never any gameplay trailer. And the game was delisted from Valve. The page no longer exists.
Uh-oh. I mean, whatever. So they don't release a game. That's them.
This is why I don't
It's
get
not really a
excited. I just
scandal.
won't. I refuse to get excited for video games,
I do. Well, I.
except for Hades 2.
Yep.
But
too.
at the same time, like I very selectively will look at something and I'll go, okay. And hype, I'm too old for hype.
Speaking of news, didn't Forspoken come out and people just fucking hate the game?
It's
people
got like
hate
a
it.
6 out of 10 on IGN.
That's not good.
And it's-
IGN usually gives out 10s like they're freaking bananas to monkeys.
For what that game was like being praised as like getting to like as being a huge new franchise. This is a big thing, and for it to just be another wet fart.
Yeah, well, for them to drop that that trailer they dropped right before the holiday season with the horrible CW teen voiceover
Like that.
over it was just horrible. But it's got a 6 out of 10 on IGN, and apparently people are calling it a Game Pass game or a PlayStation Spartacus game. Like, you can play it when
That's
it's free.
its worth. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
all right.
but how am I supposed to play that when I'm sitting on Persona 3 and 4 and I have to play those first? I don't have time.
you won't have any time ever if you start those now. That's the rest of your year.
I'm excited.
I started playing a little bit of 4, just a tiny bit.
I'm going to make myself play 3 first because I think if I go from 4 to 3, it'll feel more jarring.
The whiplash from 5 to 4 is going to feel like enough anyway.
I got to figure out which one they were playing.
3 is a lot harder.
Which one My Chemical Romance was really into, and they made the Black Parade.
That's 3.
Yeah, I want to play that one.
Mm-hmm.
You are a diehard MCR fan.
I am. The tattoo proves it. Moving on. Justin Roiland is leaving Squanch Games just a month after High on Life became 2022's...
Justin Roiland is leaving.
Yes.
That's a very generous way of saying he's fucking kicked out.
He's shit canned.
The situation's odd to me.
Well,
he's not convicted. I don't know anything about it, and I like to not pass judgment until
He was arrested.
Yep, and he pled not guilty to domestic
kidnapping
battery and
And
assault or something.
holding people under duress or something
Yeah.
like that. Like basically like imprisonment.
Imprisonment, yeah.
Imprisonment.
wrongful imprisonment,
Wrongful
or something,
imprisonment
but
or something like that.
Yeah, I honestly don't know anything about the story other than he
read-
got kicked out pretty hard.
I read a lot about it, and it seems to me like dude's always kind of been a creep. And usually, like, especially when it came to like the voice actor for Bayonetta.
Yeah.
Like when stuff like that happens, I'm always just like, now hold on, everyone's ready to get their guns out at any given fucking moment, and I'm going to be the person who doesn't do that.
Yeah.
But then I just started seeing like evidence of him like creeping on young women.
that was new to me in the last few days. I knew about the
that's
2
bad.
criminal charges, but now there's been allegations of grooming,
Yeah,
and he's been
done a
dropped
lot.
from Cartoon Network and now dropped from Squanch Games. High on Life was actually 2022's Xbox Game Pass most popular game,
Yeah, that's true.
which is weird to me.
That's not weird to me. It's
not weird. It's Rick and Morty.
and it's a Game Pass game. That is a game that most people wouldn't buy, but everyone's curious enough to try.
Yeah, I played it. Just I wouldn't have bought it ever, but
Yeah.
I played it and I liked it. But
I guess the circumstances for it being the highest Game Pass game were just right for that one.
Yeah.
it kind of plays like Donkey Butter, but
I bring this up.
Yeah, I haven't played through too much of it. I tried like 20 minutes one day, but
yeah.
I bring it up because Cartoon Network is going to move forward with season 7 of Rick and Morty, and they are going to recast our
and Morty, yeah.
voice actors.
They'll get a Tom Kenny or someone who can approximate.
Or they're going to totally change it, and they're just going to write it into the script.
might
Like,
write
hey,
it in.
Morty, why are our voices different? And then
they'll even
Rick's
just
going to be
reference
like, you
turns
know
out-
exactly why our voices are different.
Yeah.
Well, especially when it comes to like stuff like this, there's a part of me that's I think Justin Roiland is one of those insane creatives where he's definitely I think think he was so unpopular his entire life that once Rick and Morty came out and then everyone wanted a piece of it, he felt way too much power. And I think that's what ruined him, because he was definitely not someone who was going to be popular for who he was at any given moment. Well, what do you mean?
Have you? Well, I was going to say, have you seen the early Rick and Morty clips where he's like sucking on Rick's balls and stuff? It kind of gives you a little bit of behind the looking glass of like what he was. I don't think
that's indicative, because I will draw shit like that for fun.
I mean, I looked it up and watched it and laughed.
Sure, yeah, it's funny, but it's also like a sense of humor is not a person's personality, really. It's what they find funny, and it can help, but it's not who you are. It's just what you find. Like, humor itself is supposed to be something that's taboo or strange, because that's what you're supposed to find funny in life. Like something like surprising. Usually that's funny.
But I think that for them, for like Cartoon Network and Ranch Games, well, for them to come out that quick and distance themselves, they must have more information and know it's going to come out bad.
Yeah, well, with just his charges alone, he's looking at a pretty lengthy jail sentence.
Charges get thrown around. Frivolous lawsuits happen all over. So that's not enough for me to convict a person. But
I don't think, unless I saw evidence, I wouldn't.
I'm guessing that those companies, rather than distance themselves from him, they are saying, we're done.
Yeah.
Instead of he's working on his family life for a while, which is a more common thing that someone would say. So they must know more. It's not a good thing, but
it'll be interesting to see what happens with any DLC or planned sequel. Or I don't think there's a planned sequel for it, but any future of that game is a little bit in jeopardy, because I think he was a pretty big part of it.
Well, I just don't. I think you can. I think you can be a creep and it not be like, as long as you're not assaulting people. Like, being a creep is whatever. God bless, I guess. But like, then you have to bring all this into it. See, I walk a thin line with this kind of stuff, because I wonder, like, what's the actual reality here? What's actually going on I don't know. I don't even want to defend him particularly. I'm not a huge Rick and Morty fan.
I've never seen an episode.
It's good. You don't have to watch it now.
I played Accounting Plus. That's my experience mostly with Justin Roiland.
Yeah.
And I thought that was funny enough.
Trover.
Never played Trover.
Never played Trover?
No.
Okay.
Accounting Plus is my entire experience with Justin Roiland.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That and just screaming people, like that angry screaming characters that he always does. I just hear him in the background of things.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, whatever.
Moving on. Xbox and layoffs. 10,000 layoffs.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot precise. Of layoffs.
On January 18th, Microsoft laid off 10,000 employees across the company, including gaming studios, 343 Industries, the Coalition, ZeniMax, and Bethesda.
That's a lot.
Yes.
Those are some big companies.
People are not looking at this through a very flattering lens, because anytime you lay off 10,000 people, you're going to piss some people off. But on top of that, their recent acquisition for Activision Blizzard for $70 billion does not look very good.
That was really good pronunciation on all of your words there. You nailed it.
I was on a tightrope.
I was on the edge of my seat for that.
I was on a tightrope. I was on a wire.
As always, I was distracted by Suikoden 2 poster.
Coming soon. The remakes. Suikoden 1 and 2. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
But Microsoft has laid off people.
Yep.
And the first thing that drew me to this story was it was about 343 Studios, and they said Joe Staten, who is one of the original story architects for Halo, who was brought back for Infinite, is now leaving 343, and he's just going to be working for Microsoft directly. And people were speculating that 343 Studios was going to move on, possibly just be shut down, but no longer make Halo games. And everyone was very excited. And then they made a statement like, "Oh, we're here to stay. Halo is our universe." And it was like, "Oh man, we were all pumped."
Yeah, so they'll release a game in 7 years?
So the games will be even worse now because there's fewer people working on it.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's also going to be weird to see what happens with like the new Gears of War game that's supposed to be coming out with the Coalition, because that is definitely in pre-production or production phase at this point. So losing people from that development studio is going to hurt.
What was the last Gears of War game you guys played?
5. The most recent one.
You guys both played 5.
When I got COVID, I beat all 5 in a row.
Okay. I haven't played since 2. Those games are good, but I don't have a lot of
They're fine. I don't
strong
like,
feelings for them anymore.
I don't
More
like duck and
nostalgic.
cover. I don't like duck and cover mechanics. I found, but I played 5 out of curiosity because I was desperate for like a game that was just a shooter.
It is such an Xbox franchise.
I
Like
know.
dudes with soul patches, like
Chainsaw Lancers.
It's just it's so that cringy hardcore video game aesthetic that it's just it seemed cooler back in the day than it does to me now.
Yeah.
Those
If
enemies-
Marcus Phoenix
those-
had like emotion and a heart, I'd be like, this is funny. This
Did
is
you
cool.
see him cry when Dom died?
Did he?
he did.
In the inside.
Well, I hear he's more. Well, he is more emotional in the sequel trilogy
Because he's got a son.
He's a dad.
He's a dad now.
Hi, my name is Marcus Phoenix. That's a great name.
It's just John DiMaggio being like, I swear.
They ended up putting out a email thanking a company-wide email for Microsoft game development studios, saying it's been a difficult week across Microsoft and here inside our teams. Now that many of the one-on-one conversations have happened,
Drink your high life faster, Tyler. We need it.
Yeah.
I want to take a moment to reiterate the message that you heard from your leaders. Yada yada yada. He goes on to say that this was a really tough week and he's real sorry.
I mean, are they really losing that much cash?
They did. The CEO, Satya Nadella. I hate names. I can never pronounce names. Tried to spin it. It sounded like by saying that the 10,000 cut jobs represent less than 5% of the total workforce, which is not a good lens to put on it. I feel.
I mean, it's still people.
10,000 is a big number, and people are going to look at that and be like, "Yo, come on."
Yeah, but I just wonder why they had to do this.
Well,
Everyone's laying off right now, though. It's not just the video games industry, too. Like, you're seeing it major companies everywhere.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
it's
the story used to
great-
be employees don't want to work, and now it's just like we're laying people off.
Well, earlier this
they're
month-
spinning a story.
Microsoft announced earlier this month that they had a drop in net income of 12% for the most recent quarter compared to last year, and that both hardware and software sales were down, and they would not say how many new Game Pass members they acquired. So sounds like it's just been a rough start to the year for
Man,
them.
but they still got so many people on the line. I'm never canceling Game Pass. Like
I
Netflix can eat a dick, but
I'm about 2 seconds from
Pass-
canceling Netflix.
I'm almost there.
I haven't had to pay for Netflix for over a couple years now.
Oh, great.
And at the moment it goes to state like password sharing rules, I am very comfortably just going to switch over to other forms of finding my content.
Yeah, all HBO's got my money
Yarr.
now and forever.
It's called VHS tapes.
HBO Max has got
Bring me my copy of Speed.
Where do I find the new Stranger Things in this pub?
Lastly, the last thing we'll touch on before we get into some football is Ubisoft. Ubisoft also fucked up again.
Uh-oh.
Ubisoft's had a rough couple years, as we know, with
Yeah.
a string of failed games and disappointments. The CEO, another name that I'm not going to be able to pronounce correctly, Yves Guillemont.
Guimont. That's
Guillemont. It's French, so I get a pass on that.
He's from Montreal.
Guillemont. He sent an email to staff addressing the string of flops and disappointments the company has had in recent years. So to motivate the team, the email was sent out telling the staff the ball is in your court.
What? That's psychotic. It sounds like my job.
It did not go over well. Apparently, the email blamed workers for poor results and advocated for extra work and to go above and beyond. As a result, the union Solidarity's French word for information, which has members at Ubisoft's Paris office, has called for a strike.
Sure, do it.
Yeah.
Are they unionized?
Part of the Paris studio, I believe.
Oh, nice. Well, yeah, go for it. I mean, what are the string of failures that Ubisoft had recently?
That pirate game, what's the name of that one that's supposed to come out that's been delayed for like
Skull and Bones.
4 years? Yeah, Skull and Bones. The production of that's been really rocky. Watch Dogs
curious about
kind of
that
fell
game.
off. the
Legion. I noticed you have Watch Dogs
Yeah.
Legion.
Do I?
Yeah.
Their Assassin's Creeds have all gotten rather stale. They still sell, but critically not the best games.
I still love Assassin's Creed.
The Division,
but I just play them every couple of years instead of once a year.
Yeah.
Yep, I can wait.
yeah.
Yeah.
The Far Cry games have fallen off seriously since 3 or 4. And there's one more franchise. The Division. You remember The Division? How popular that was?
I played that one for like a couple hours and it was free.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was acceptable.
Yeah, it's a third-person shooter. Whatever.
Before we jump into
Wait,
the
I got 2 more news stories if you don't have any more.
Also, it's
go
what are we,
for it.
Things
also,
that-
the next segment is what are we playing?
Well,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
there are some big news stories, at least one that you left out. Pour one out for our homie, the Google Stadia.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's dead. Yeah,
The Google Stadia has officially shut down.
that's the most. That is so fucking interesting.
It shut down its cloud gaming service Wednesday, January 18th. Apparently, it didn't gain enough traction. I'm surprised to hear that.
Did you hear the story about the guy who has over 2,000 hours into Red Dead Online?
And he's just like, can someone save my game, please?
And they sent him literally like Rockstar sent him like a care package.
Or went out for that guy.
No, seriously, it's just like he's like all those fake hats. Where are they gonna go?
What am I going to do with my 47 Cattleman revolver?
Yes, they permanently disabled Wi-Fi connectivity for the Stadia.
Well,
So something about like they've unlocked its Bluetooth capabilities, so you can just use the control. If you see a Stadia controller for super cheap,
I
there's
might
supposed to be
look
pretty
at
good Bluetooth controllers. For
I hear
anything.
they're nice and weighty and actually pretty okay.
Yeah,
But,
so I would recommend if you find a Stadia controller out there on massive discounts, it'd probably be worth buying because it's just a solid controller that you don't have to play Stadia with.
I've never seen one in the wild.
No, me neither. I think they exist.
I don't know.
This one was a stupid story that I saw yesterday that I just wanted to mention. YouTuber's pet fish was streaming Pokemon and accidentally committed credit card fraud.
What? What?
What the fuck?
YouTuber Mute Kimaru channel.
Oh.
They have it set up to where their fish can like swim over buttons and like do inputs. And they were playing Pokemon. Their fish was playing Pokemon. Something happened and the Switch crashed, which then allowed them to access the rest of the Switch. And they accidentally added money to the account. And what else? They sent their owner a PayPal verification email, redeemed Switch Online points for a profile picture for Switch Sports, and they downloaded the 64 emulator app. So yes, a fish committed credit card fraud on Pokemon playing fish. I don't know. The headline was enough for me to say like this is important.
Oh man,
I can't believe that.
to get bored enough to have your fish play a video game
To
for
get
you.
bored enough to stream and make so much money that you're making a living off of just having your fish play video
Come on,
games.
Brad. Point taken.
Yeah, Final Fantasy First Soldier closed down.
Oh my god, I can't wait for Second Soldier.
Yep.
Wow, that game must have been dead in the water. I've never heard anyone talk about it except for on one video game podcast I listened to.
Yeah.
And it just seems like, I don't know. Have you played it, Brad?
I played First Soldier. I played it for like a fucking hour. One day I was really bored on the couch, just hungover, and I said, well, it's free. So I played through like 2 matches, and it was bad. It was just a battle royale game. I'm like, oh, it's in Midgar. Look, it's a Buster Sword. Oh, I'm having fun. It's my nostalgia. Oh, look, is that Tifa?
Look, she's over there.
$3.99. That's it. Here's my money. No, I played it for a while and said, I get it. They're just making money off of people.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, whatever.
Did you hear that they made GeoGuessr for Elden Ring?
Yeah, that looks cool.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it.
You heard of that game, GeoGuessr?
GeoGuessr?
You know?
Me and my brother played it for a while. It'll drop you anywhere in the world, essentially, on a Google map, and you have to figure out where you are. And you drop a pen, and you're like, this is where I'm at. And then it'll tell you how far away you're off. Some people are crazy good at it.
I've seen speedrunners do it, where you can get dropped anywhere in the world, and from like context clues like road signs or like how close it is to a village or what like the terrain looks like, they're able to narrow it down and look around. Essentially,
In the world of Elden Ring.
but essentially, it started off with just like Google Maps in the real world, but then they made an Elden Ring version of it.
I think I could be pretty good at one in Elden Ring.
They have over
all the different areas are pretty telegraphed, I would suppose.
Well, all you have to do is look around you in all directions. Where's the castle? Where's this?
Yeah. There's over 8,000 locations for the Elden Ring GeoGuessr, so
that makes sense.
That's pretty cool.
That's all that I wanted to add to news.
Cool.
Cuckoo.
What have you guys been playing?
Dylan, you first.
I've been playing quite a bit.
2 hours later.
Fire Emblem Engage came out last week, and it's
more like Fire Emblem Marriage with this guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm
Brad.
sorry. I really like that joke. Before you get... Sorry. We have another beer. Open up another beer. This is from B52 Brewing. This is an American barley wine style ale. It's called Lost Wanderer. And it says it'll get you drunk. It was brewed in Conroe, Texas.
Whoa.
Yeah, 10.3%. Thank you for sending us beers, Ryan.
I like
I
love you. I love a nice barley wine ale.
I generally don't like barley wines.
I like that.
This one's drinkable. I like that it's warmed up a little bit too.
Yeah, actually, that's fine.
Kind of comes out. The maltiness comes forward a lot more.
It's very thick. It's dense. It's nice.
You don't taste as much of the booze, which I appreciate because most barley wines, it's just like, oh.
I have a strong like liquor, forwardness with this.
You have a high tolerance for liquor.
But
a low tolerance for anime bullshit. Or a high tolerance.
No, I've got a high tolerance.
Surprisingly high tolerance.
Yeah, until I literally just go, what am I doing? I've done that. I've had I was playing Genshin Impact. It's off my iPad now. Like I was like, what am I doing? Like what am I doing? Like I'm running around.
You were doing the Lord's work. You were researching Genshin Impact.
I wanted to know what a Genshin Impact was.
You're the only one qualified.
And I never learned what a Genshin Impact is. Because I wanted to know what Genshin Impact means.
What does Genshin stand for?
I don't know.
Because that's just a word outside of the game, right?
Maybe.
We don't know. Okay. Tyler, you're up next. You got to go into Genshin Impact and figure this out.
Tyler, I tapped out, buddy. You got to be the hero. I played enough of Genshin Impact to know that I wasn't really that much of a fan. It's a very good video game in the sense that they give you objectives and they're not really asking you for money, but also wink, wink, they kind of are. It's fine. It was okay, but I saw the insurmountable hill ahead of me, and I just said, I can't do it.
You said, not today.
Well, I said, I've got other things to do. I've got to poop. I've got to make dinner. I've got to pet my cat. You think I have time for this?
We're adults.
Yeah.
With many important things to
I have to do taxes sometime this year.
I mean, hopefully before April 14th.
About this time of year, I always think like, man, I should do my taxes. And then 2 days before the deadline, I'm like, now I have to do my taxes.
Well, I want my taxes so I can get some fucking cash this time because they took a lot out of my shit.
But you've been playing
Fire Emblem Engage.
And you've been on the Discord preaching about it. You're standing on the streets saying it's the greatest thing in the world.
The end is nigh. Play Fire Emblem Engage. I love it. It's fantastic. It is very much a love letter to Fire Emblem itself because there are literal main characters from other games that come in there in the form of rings that people wear. Okay.
So is it pandery?
Not to a point that I found annoying. It does have its own story, and it's really not about they reference things from other games.
Is it all the Fire Emblem games in the same universe?
No. So this is its own world, but there are these rings called emblems, and the emblems host...
Like a Fire Emblem?
They host heroes from the other games.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, there's always a Fire Emblem. There's always something that represents the Fire Emblem. And you get these rings, and then they kind of fight alongside you in your battles and stuff. And it's very fun.
I choose Roy, and then Roy's there.
Actually, Roy's in there.
Well, of course, he's the best Fire Emblem.
So you wear Roy's ring, and then you go into battle. You can go into battle with Roy, and he'll boost your stats depending on which unit is wearing him, and also you can engage, which actually transforms them for 3 turns into a kind of souped up version of that unit with special abilities related to each of the heroes. So Lynn can literally shoot anyone on the battlefield with her bow and arrow, no matter what the distance is away. So you can get off.
So
a
it's
nice
not
quick shot.
realistic battles.
No, hell no.
Okay.
It's anime bullshit, Brad. Have I ever mentioned this?
I've never played a Fire Emblem game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I played Smash Brothers, so I think that counts. But
Well, I got my wife into Three Houses, and she's fucking obsessed.
yeah,
Like, she's getting Tetris effect of this game. Like, she sees it when she closes her eyes.
I understand those words.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been playing that, and on Friday I got the Dead Space remake, physical for my boys in case. Well, you don't have an Xbox.
Not yet.
Okay.
Tax season though.
I will say this: looks great. It's pretty much the same game. I am 6 hours in, and I've played that game so much that I knew every in and out, and I'm almost done.
Is that what you want from a remake? Do you want it to be the same game, or do you want there to be little surprises?
So it controls better.
Okay.
There's a bit more like tightness to it. They clearly went above and beyond with like the physics system, and they kind of roped a lot of things that people loved about Dead Space 2 and put it in Dead Space 1. It just functions like a really good survival horror game, and it's fun as fuck, and it feels really good. There's Metroidvania elements to it, much like most survival horror games like Resident Evil 2 and stuff like that. It's really good.
Do you think Do you think it's going to help or hurt future sales of the Callisto Protocol?
I think that thing was dead in the water.
Yeah, but people play through the remake of Dead Space, and then they're itching for the same type of game, and that one's right there.
No, it's like saying
Fresh
I think
it's
title.
like saying you're itching for Mega Man. You don't go pick up Mighty Number 9.
Well, I would definitely say play Alien Isolation if you're gonna go from this to
heard it's
another.
good.
It's very good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd like to play that.
it's good.
Is that
And
the one where the xenomorphs can hear you breathe
I think
if you have a mic?
if you have a mic, yeah.
Then I just wouldn't have a mic.
Yeah,
I don't want
very
to
easy.
hear me breathing.
No, and then I've just been playing iPad games. I have Apple Arcade, so I've just been trying everything that anyone recommends. There are some real hits there, but for the most part, I'm like, I'll just play Professor Layton and solve riddles.
That sounds cute.
Professor Layton's good. Yeah, I mean that's essentially it. Whenever I close my eyes, I see Fire Emblem. In fact, I went out yesterday. Obviously, I told you about that, and all I could think about instead of making like small talk with people was just like, oh, man, that character really needs an experience boost.
And that's one of those games that you can't just bring up to strangers because most people will not have played it. Or
I
know what
have
you're talking
never
about.
met anyone that I could talk to about this game. It's the most frustrating thing on the face of the planet. I'm like, can someone talk to me about this? Nope, nobody.
And I can just go up to strangers in the street and be like, Elden Ring, and they're like, yeah.
Such is life.
Yep. Me personally, what have I been playing? Since the last Dogcast,
With your dinger.
been playing a lot of Elden Ring. I do. No, I love Elden Ring. I fucking love that.
I
game.
know you love Elden Ring.
It's only getting stronger. My love for the game.
I did not think that was possible.
It's fantastic, and I think about it often. And I love to play different characters,
So
different builds.
when are you leaving Carly for it?
She's coming with me. Actually, my character I'm playing as is Carly. It's Carly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's a sorceress. She's very cool. She just got a new scepter. We're very excited about it. But besides that, I have been playing God of War Ragnarok as well. And the game started off, and I didn't love it. I did not like it even. I thought the gameplay was hackneyed. It was boring. It was, oh, wow, they just made the same game again. And it's beautiful. It's well acted. And I love the universe. And it got to a point now where in the game something changes. And I was very excited about it. And something new happened. I won't spoil anything because we'll talk about God of War Ragnarok in a month or so. Probably we'll do a Raw Dogs on it. But
Sure. I'll have to watch a playthrough.
yeah, but there was a big event that happened, and I was all of a sudden so on board, and it was unexpected.
Really?
Yep.
And and I know I mentioned it to you, and you said a lot of people were upset about that. And I said, this is what it needs. It needs
Yeah.
something to change.
I agree.
A
I
little
was
lifeblood.
so on board with it.
And I was so excited about it too. But I played that, and then I recently beat Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze before a Wii U retrospective.
Oh.
I fucking love that game. Tropical
Man.
Freeze is beautiful.
I
Yeah,
want to play it
it's
really
so
badly.
good.
I've been playing.
I'll bring it next time so you can play it.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've been playing an
remind
ungodly
me
amount
about
of FIFA 23 lately,
Okay.
which is weird.
Now, what? Okay, so What's improved since FIFA 22?
They have a new physics mechanic that not a lot of people like, a collision mechanic between the players that I really enjoy.
Ragdoll physics?
Yeah, a little bit, but it's more so like when you go to challenge for the ball or commit a tackle. Like the physics, I think, and for me personally, they work a little better. The players are heavier, and if you have a tall,
You're
stronger,
just running around on the field like a bunch of big fat guys.
sometimes you need that beefy defender. He's your last line before your keeper. So,
okay.
The players.
What is this, Quidditch?
I feel like defense is definitely improved. I got into soccer during the World Cup. I watched quite a bit of it at the brewery.
Yeah, okay.
And then I had FIFA 2 because it was a free game.
Really?
And I was playing the shit out of that during the World Cup. And then I was like, well, it's $20 for FIFA 23, and I've heard that it's an improvement gameplay-wise. And it night and day for me. I've read online people hate it. I thought FIFA 22 is way too easy. There's no defense.
People with these games, they don't like change. They just want rosters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated that they added some weight to the characters. Things are a little slower. It's not as arcadey. It seems a little bit more real.
Sure.
So is it still a horrible cash grab that is exploiting people and trying to bankrupt them so corporate greed can succeed?
Absolutely. Okay. Yep. But I don't participate in that. I just play franchise mode as my player.
Okay.
I just...
Is he named Tyler the Cool Dude?
His name is
How many packs of cards have you opened?
0.
Nice.
I don't play Ultimate Team anything. I think it's a fucking rip. I hate that shit.
I hate anything where you like those
kind of disgusts me. Yeah.
fucking here's your battle chest. Oh, I got a gun. So stupid.
I
Just let me play a video game.
Other than
what button do you press to pretend to be hurt?
that exclusively
There
is
has to be a flopping mechanic, right?
Oh,
If there's no flopping mechanic, it is not a soccer game.
people will stay on the ground after they get tackled, but they did heavily remove the flopping from the game. There's not any
I
flopping.
hate that. I want there to be a button where you just yeah.
And all right, I will go.
That should be a statistic too, like acting ability.
Yeah,
Press X to flop.
We have a new theater kid we're bringing in. We're very excited about him. He can't kick the ball, but he will. He acts as hard.
he can sell.
What can you? This is a question I'm going to ask even for football. The other football,
The real football.
the real football, which is coincidentally played with your hands for the most part. Hand egg. Ooh, that's good. Why don't we call it that?
I don't know.
I'm gonna.
Welcome to the Hand Egg Championship.
There's only one time where you're using your foot, and that's to kick a goal, right?
Yeah,
And they don't even
and a
use
kickoff
they don't even
and a
use
punch.
pigskin anymore either, which bothers me.
Yeah,
What if there's still a snout on the
vegan
football?
leather.
If it's not a slaughtered animal, I am so angry.
This is sport for men.
Yeah.
I'm going to put my hands up this dude's butt and yell at him. And he's going to give me a ball.
I remember when I was in 3rd grade, I wanted to be a quarterback, and my coach was like, "You got to take a snap." And I was like, "All right, cool," because I played football for several years, and I was like, "I want to be a quarterback. I like throwing the ball.
Yeah.
Let's do it." And he's like, "All right, you're going to take a snap from this guy. Take your middle finger, slide it right down his butt crack." And I was like, "I'm gonna be a safety. I want to be as far away from the offensive line as possible."
Because they told us in 8th grade, like, no, you got to put your hand way up there so they know where your hand is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
I played rugby for like 3 games. And I'll tell you this much. A scrum? Ugh.
Yeah.
You ever seen a scrum?
Yeah. If you're at
You
the
got to put
bottom
your
of the
head
pile-
between their crunches and they smell real bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's just what you do.
Other than
And
FIFA,
then they can invert your testicles and push them right up into your body again.
Tyler, what else we got?
I've been playing the Fallen Order, the Star Wars game.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
been kind of fun. I've been playing Donkey Kong Country on my Switch, the OG,
Returns. Or the OG.
the OG,
Okay.
the first one.
Oh, that one's kind of rough.
It's a little clunky, but it's
2
very
is-
nostalgic for me.
2 is very good.
I want to beat the first one before I go on to 2.
1 is very hard. Yeah.
Yep.
But other than that, I've just been working a lot. I threw out my back, so I've mainly just been in pain. And I honestly haven't played many video games since I did that because sitting up until like yesterday has sucked.
Really? I mean, like, are you just laying down?
Mostly watching like YouTube and Netflix and stuff like that.
Pornhub.
Lots of Pornhub.
We're going to take a quick break to hear from another member of the Tokyo Beat Podcast Network, and we'll be right back.
And we're back with another great episode of...
Hold your horses, mister. This is a commercial for our show, Nasty Labs, not the actual show.
You mean to tell me this is a commercial for our bi-weekly show from game studio Chuhai Labs where we talk about games, game dev, Japan, and whatever else comes up?
Yep, and it stars me, Kinsey Burke. And also it has my junior co-host, Mark Lentz.
Sup, though?
So catch brand new episodes twice monthly for only 3 easy payments of $420.69.
That doesn't make sense.
Nasty Labs! Only on the Tokyo Beat Network.
All right. Hey, everybody, and welcome to your favorite podcast about sports. We love sports. I can't stop thinking about football.
I love scoring more points than other people.
Unless it's golf. I want to score less points.
Oh, look at your sports knowledge.
If that was a real hole-in-one, am I right?
Pretty good. There's nothing I like more than putting on my cleats and treading some dirt. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Dude, the other day I caught this sick pass from my boy.
Dude.
I'll tell you what, back in high school, I could
He
throw,
put his hand right up my butt.
I could throw a pigskin a quarter mile.
I'll tell ya.
Whoa.
When I score, baby, it's like
It's all over the bedroom.
well, yeah.
Talk about a hole-in-one.
Don't take a black light to that field.
Gross.
He just spiked the ball, everybody.
And then I do a silly dance.
So
Yeah, and then you get flagged for 15-yard penalty, unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting.
Tyler,
That's taunting?
Yep.
That's celebration.
so we let Tyler have control of Dogcast, and the first thing he's like, "We're doing football video
Well,
games."
it's the perfect time of year. The Super Bowl is right around the corner. Football competition is at the highest. Today, the day of recording, is Sunday, and the AFC and NFC championship games are starting at 2 o'clock.
Go Bengals.
Yep, go Bengals. That's who I'm rooting for, too.
Bengals.
They're-
That's an '80s band.
Yeah.
the Bengals.
Bengals.
Yeah, that's what I said, Bengals.
You said Bengals.
You said you're saying bangles.
That's how I've
Bengals?
always
That's
said
an armor from Final Fantasy, dude.
No, bangles are like bracelets.
Are you
Okay,
saying
I've
Bengals?
already got it back to Final Fantasy at least once.
yes,
The history of blitzball video games, starting number 1, Final Fantasy X. Number 2, it's referenced in Final Fantasy X-2.
So, explain to me, what is football? Sorry, this is going to be the entire.
This is going to be a fun episode. All right, so we're going to start. We're going to go all the way back, and we're going to talk about the history of football and video games, and we got to go all the way back to like 1965.
This is a cool one.
That's where we're starting.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
FT ball, which is short for football, was apparently a game made in 1965 on the Dartmouth time-sharing system, the DTSS.
The Dartmouth time-sharing system.
This
Yes.
game is
Is
actually,
that how people used to clock out when they go through the factory?
you know, it's when you give like when you give one nerd the ability to clock out with a computer, like, I wonder if we can make a text adventure game.
Well,
Which
but he
is
chose
what
to make. But he chose to make a football game.
Well, it's a text adventure game.
Oh, really?
Yep, you just choose like you enter like pass or run, and then it'll say like,
really?
You got 2 yards.
Yeah, and it'll simulate a result for you. So that's fucking wild.
Could I fucking play this right now? That sounds weird.
You could at least watch a YouTube video of it, but it would be
They
way.
should put it on the iPad.
It's not like Kentucky Route Zero's text adventure game, which is super fun and weird.
Yeah,
This is
I know.
run or pass.
It's like
Yeah.
Zork. Yeah, it's literally just text on screen. I get it.
It's cool though. I mean, it is the very first football video game.
And DTSS was like the foundation for BASIC. Eventually, is what it went on to be. So that's kind of cool.
Also, the foundation for catching the pigskin from your boys.
Yeah, you got to catch that. Yeah. But then moving into an actual video game, we're gonna go to 1972 with a game very cleverly titled Football.
Okay.
You know exactly what you're getting.
What do you do?
You're not playing soccer.
I just want to know what football is.
There was a lot of European nerds who were upset about this game.
Yes. It's called Football. It was developed in
Where is my soccer ball? I mean, football.
Can someone actually legitimately explain to me why it is called football?
You know, I looked it up a long time
Because
ago. and
Americans are
forgot.
dumb.
It sounds dumb.
Yeah.
Because we weren't good at soccer, so we made our own game and just kept the name.
Yeah, and it's
That actually sounds like it might be it.
I've heard that American football is based on trench warfare a little bit. It was
sure.
created around World War I, and it was all about moving just like moving in a yard forward or something.
Yeah. Okay, that's really interesting.
And that's the most interesting thing I've ever heard about American football.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, so we got football developed in 1972 for the Magnavox Odyssey. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That is a real game.
We got to play that.
Yep, from Ralph Baer.
You guys got to play that?
We didn't play the game, but we played a Magnavox Odyssey at
You know what's
Midwest
great about
Gaming
this
Classic.
game is every Magnavox Odyssey game is kind of just Pong, but is this the one you put like the overlaid screens on them?
You have like a wax paper field, and
Yeah.
you actually have to like sticky tape it to your television, so the field is now on the TV, and then it's just blocks that will move behind the field.
I love
and
that.
It's a combination of on-screen movement with the lights. You have dice. There's playing cards, so it's like a whole big.
Wait, this sounds interesting actually. Almost.
Yeah, it was really cool. I watched a video of some guys playing
Solitaire?
it, and essentially you would draw a card. And I mean, the rules are kind of a little muddy, and I didn't take the time to learn the full game.
That's fine.
But you roll dice and you play cards, and then you.
I had no
move
idea
and
it
you
was
score a
that.
touchdown.
I had no idea it was that physically involved.
I think that the game is actually just you like it's more of a visual aid for the game that you're playing with
Yeah.
your cards and your
Sure,
dice.
so it's like a D&D map.
So you can just kind of move your guy according to what you're doing in the real world.
That's not interesting. Actually, I find that to be kind of comforting.
It's innovative.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you only have blocks that can go across the screen.
You know, I mean, besides the Skylanders and, you know, the Amiibos, I wish there were more video games that required things that happen in the real world, like a card game that also interacted. There must be like a play field you could do, and then you could actually like play Pokemon with your real cards if they put like chips in them. There is something that's worth a lot of money in that idea.
There is a way to use there are codes now at the bottom that you can use in the digital field. Like you can literally put like if you get like a Pikachu or something, I think you can type it in and that code unlocks the Pikachu.
Thank you for letting us talk about Pikachu for 30 seconds, Tyler.
Okay. Moving on. The next game that came out was in 1978. Guess what it was called? Football. Yeah. We got another game called Football.
How'd you know? Did you research, Dylan?
I'm autistic.
Developed in 1978 for the Bally Astrocade. Players were represented by X's and O's, which is great because when my coach would tell me how to run the ball,
He'd
I
give
was
you
looking
kisses?
at X's and O's. That coach was later shipped by the school.
Was he?
Yeah. No, he wasn't. He ended up being my
Your best man at your wedding.
my government teacher.
Sorry.
Fun fact: Tyler married somebody named Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler and Tyler.
We did go over this. We brought this up before, right?
It's just an amazing story because
It's
I
just
knew you
so
for like a
cool.
year before I realized that before you told me you used to be married, and I thought you were making that up. And you said, "Yeah," and I was married to someone named Tyler.
Yeah, you made an ex-wife joke to me once, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, it's like a thing to say."
Common joke.
Yeah.
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 Is this the X's and O's? This isn't the one that's like the coffee table arcade cabinet thing. No, this is
No,
actually
this
just
was actually on the Astrocade.
okay.
Yeah, so you
I don't
could.
even know what an Astrocade is.
It's a very early home game console that looked fucking huge.
And
Oh,
a lot
okay.
of the history is around Chicago and Wisconsin for the Bally Astrocade. But as you were saying,
This
Oh, it's
game,
a Bally. Okay.
Players were represented by X's and O's, and it was the second highest earning arcade video game of 1979, right behind Space Invaders.
No
which I
shit.
thought was interesting.
people like sports.
But they like killing aliens more.
They do. Take that, jocks.
Yeah.
Oh, just wait. We got some aliens coming up.
I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, this is gonna be good. NFL football, developed in 1979, was the next game by Mattel and Intellivision. Although it was called NFL football, the game did not use any team names or players' names, even though Mattel obtained a license from the NFL and used the actual NFL logo on the box.
That's something we're going to see throughout the history of football games is eventually you're able to get either the licenses for the team names or the player names. And eventually you can get both of them. But for a while, it's like we only got Troy Aikman or something. It's like we only got this one person and there's no Cowboys. There's no other real players. But getting the rights and the likenesses is a battle that we'll see happen throughout football games.
And I mean, I guess it starts in 1979 because they actually went to the NFL and they got the okay to use the logo on the box art.
But that's it.
Yep.
NFL's like, oh, well, you can't use the team.
Video games, you should be actually tossing the ball.
Video games. Well, we like to catch the pigskin. We don't like to wiggle the joystick around here. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is credited as the first football game to ever have a playbook, and it was the first football game where the players actually had arms and legs. They were not X's and O's anymore, and there was 5 per
They
side.
just hugs and kisses out on the field.
Yep. Nope. Now we got.
Come here.
They're weird, lanky looking, like half ape, like humanoid looking.
Oh,
things.
sure.
They look
Atari,
hilarious.
Atari ass shit, like 5 pixels big.
Something we're also going to see happen is how much in your video game do you want it to be accurate and like real football? Do you need 11 players on the field?
Yeah.
Do you just need 5? What can you handle graphically, but also how do you achieve realism?
Yep.
And is it something you necessarily want?
That's an interesting thesis for that, actually. I think that's a good like way to even like approach the entirety of the history of this.
Yeah. And I mean, without jumping all the way, without getting too far
Fuck
ahead.
EA.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We'll get into it at the end. Next, we got Real Sports
I almost had a
Football.
heart
Was
attack.
developed in 1983 for the Atari.
Which one was?
Real Sports Football.
Real.
A lot of these people out here making fake sports football.
We got the real one over here.
It's so good looking.
Listen
you
here,
might as well
brother.
think it's real.
You can
I heard
almost
you like
smell his butt from here.
I heard you like real sports.
Yeah.
Here's a pack of cigarettes, kid.
This was a simplified version of the game. Players couldn't go out of bounds, fumble, and there were no penalties. All touchdowns were automatic 7 points. There were no extra field goals. It looked strikingly similar to NFL football from the previous year, from 1979. But this game did go over pretty well. It received a certificate of merit for the 1984 Best Sports Video Game at the 5th Annual Archie Awards,
I like that stuff.
prestigious.
Is that an arcade award?
It must be.
It's gotta be.
Jeff Keighley's suing them. These can't exist anymore.
Arcade award.
I went down.
Although if Hades was an arcade cabinet, imagine how like that would win an Archie award. I would imagine seeing like that game at an arcade.
Yeah, but that's all based on the roguelike elements.
I'd put $2 in that.
That's not the only thing.
That's not the only thing. Next, so I told my coworker, who he's like in his 40s, that I was doing this podcast and I'd been researching
So close to death.
old football games. And the first game that came out of his mouth was this next one, 10-Yard Fight. It was developed in 1983 as an arcade game and later ported over to the NES. It had a top-down perspective, which is similar to what you see in current Madden games,
Or Tecmo Bowl. And
10-Yard Fight is great because it's confusing enough of a title that some kids might play it not knowing it's a sports game.
yeah, and then they're like, ah, shit. All right, well, I guess I'm here. But I think it's really cool that even in 1983, you have the first top-down scrolling screen
Yeah.
oh, sure, yeah.
for a sports game because that's what Madden is now. Mm-hmm. And before this, and even after this, they'll go back to it. The whole screen would just be the field, and you would have players that move left and right horizontally. Once the players started getting arms and legs and shit, then they would zoom in and you would scroll from left to right. But this was the first one to give you that top-down perspective, which is cool because they were all trying to emulate the broadcast, the view that you would see on your home TV.
Oh, really?
That was
Okay.
one of my things I was most excited about when doing this research is when there'd be like TV, sports, football or something like that. And their shtick was, it's football, but we really want it to feel like a TV broadcast. So they have they've specialized in like the announcers and the play calling and cutting away to, we're here talking with Aaron Rodgers. He's talking about Scientology. Let's hear it to him. And it's just pushing different aspects of the sports experience, which I'm all about the package.
Yeah, and I know you guys don't play too many sports games, but when I was a kid, and even now,
Final
like,
Fantasy X?
presentation
Yeah.
is exactly what you want in a sports game. So if there's like a halftime show or like a Super Bowl trophy lift and stuff, like those animations, those sequences that you get during, before, and after the game are fucking awesome because they really get you.
You're going to be really disappointed with Madden 24 when
Oh.
the halftime show is just literally me doing a striptease.
That would be better than what they currently have.
What do they have?
Fucking jack shit, and we'll get to it.
Okay,
I got
all right.
Fuck you, EA.
Oh,
We're getting there.
Do you actually have a full halftime show?
It's 2 hours long.
What is it, like a fucking Wiz Khalifa?
Now,
No,
if
not
they
like-
added a function where you could hit a button and cut to the kitty halftime show, then I would be in.
The Puppy Bowl?
The Puppy
The
Bowl,
Bowl,
but the
yeah.
kitty halftime show is always one of the highlights too.
Yeah, the Kitties one is fine.
In 10-Yard Fight, you couldn't pick plays. You essentially just ran an option offense, and I don't have time to explain what that is.
It's where you make the decision.
Oh, nice. Brad with the sports knowledge.
Yeah, I knew it too.
Just because I don't actively play sports games, I do watch a lot of football. I like going to basketball and baseball games, but I don't like watching them on TV. But no, I like football. It's exciting.
I prefer basketball.
You have that physique though of a basketball player.
Yeah, I'm just under 6 foot, and I'm stocky.
Yep,
He's a good center point guard.
Hits 1 from 10 at the line.
They call me Mulligan Magoo. Not sure what that means because I keep asking to rethrow the ball.
Here comes old Mulligan Magoo. He's going to shoot this one granny style.
He's the only player that's ever tried to stab a ref during the game.
It's like from Semi-Pro. Jackie Moon's like, suck my cock, I'll murder your family.
Well, I jump on a guy's shoulder like Quado, and I just... I'm like, look, now we're even taller.
You act like I don't know about sports. I know that the other day some guy took a camera and showed it to the ref for missing a blatant call on LeBron.
That was Patrick Beverly.
Yeah, I was going to say it was Beverly, but I wasn't sure, so I wasn't going to say his name.
He's a famous troll, and I love him for it.
Yeah. When I grew up, trolls used to be under bridges.
Now they're on the court.
I actually saw the headline about that on Reddit. I did not click on it.
I mostly just want to watch fails and bad ref call YouTube highlights.
Oh, okay.
And then the best plays of the year. Sure, I'll bite that for a minute, but I'm not going to watch every game.
I like athleticism. It's just, I don't know.
1984.
When are we going to cover the history of discus video games?
The history of track and field video games. What happened in 1984, Tyler?
1984, Super Action Football developed by Coleco. Dude, I'm so bad at reading.
It's okay.
You know a lot about sports. We'll give you that.
Only in the U.S., not the same as Super Action Football in Europe, which was based on soccer.
So this was on the Intellivision?
No, this is on the ColecoVision.
Yep.
Coleco, fun fact, stands for Connecticut Leather Company.
Whoa.
Because everyone was getting into video games at the time, and this leather company's like, yeah.
Let's get it.
We're actually uniquely qualified. We make a lot of leather, so.
I service a Chuck E. Cheese.
You got service at Chuck E. Cheese?
No, I service a Chuck E. Cheese on my job.
Oh.
And the one in Brookfield. And I go in there, and sometimes just because I'm so bored and I just want to talk to someone about something, I ask people how Nolan Bushnell's doing.
That's great.
But like,
I mentioned Nolan
they're
Bushnell
like,
the other
who?
day, and someone's like, what are you talking about?
Someone's like, they go like, who? I'm like, he made all this.
And then you followed up with, do you even know what E stands for in Chuck E. Cheese?
I do say that, and they actually all know.
That's good.
I don't.
Well,
Can you guess?
check out the history of Nolan Bushnell, Great Gamers in History, Raw Dogs number like 34 or something, and learn about it. We're not going to tell you. You actually have to go listen to it.
Can you
All right,
guess?
good.
No, he can't.
What's Chuck good at?
Eating.
Chuck eating cheese.
That's not bad. That's a good guess.
That's solid.
No, it's solid.
It was going to be Rick Rat Pizza, but that's another story. We're talking about what is
I
this?
wish we could just talk.
Well, now
about
we're
Chuck E.
talking about
Cheese.
NFL Challenge that came out in 1985 by XOR Software.
No, good pull. Yeah.
We don't have to mention every single game, just so you know.
Oh,
Okay, because there's a lot.
No, this one was cool because it was the first time players acted as coaches. So it's another simulation style. You don't play as the players. You pick a play, it runs its script, and then you see if you win.
Boring.
I think it's cool. It's
fun.
I think it's for a subset of gamers.
There are football managing games. I mean, like soccer managing games that are hyper popular.
Well, I had to play some MLB The Show game where it wasn't even about actually playing the game. It was more about managing a team.
Yeah.
And this is why I mentioned this one, because people found out you could just edit the text files and you could create your own team. So it's the first time that you really get that create a team, or that kind of like, this is my personal team.
Dylan created a team.
Byleth from Three Houses.
It's the Memphis Byleths. No. Make a team name.
Oh, a team name.
The Milwaukee
Salty Dogs.
Not bad.
Milwaukee Salty Dog.
Yeah.
It's just really like upset pirates, upset sailors, upset seamen.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't go with that one.
Yeah.
Salty seamen.
There we
Salty
go.
Seaman. Salty Lakeman.
Are you guys big fans of John Elway?
Yeah, you better bet your ass.
Then you definitely would have bought a copy.
You ever heard of the Denver Broncos?
Have you seen
Hell
the
yeah.
posters in my room?
Are they all John Elway?
No,
Yeah.
that's just that's Byleth.
Oh, it's Byleth from Three Houses.
I just
Okay.
pictured your room is just a bunch of the Bayonetta train girl.
Oh, well, you know.
You should have a unique set of fan art where you just take Fire Emblem characters and you put them in football jerseys.
I think.
What if Roy played for the Baltimore
I
Ravens?
legitimately think that would be popular.
And I don't know if anyone's got that market yet. You might carve out a little niche over there.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I don't think I could draw that many football helmets without wanting to die.
Yeah.
John Elway's quarterback came out in 1987.
This is the first time that you saw a name associated
Yes,
with it, right?
he was on the cover. The game was actually endorsed by then Denver Broncos real-life quarterback John Elway, released on the NES. Kind of a big deal because it's the first time that a player is like, yes, this is my game, and I'm going to endorse it, and here we go.
Also, that's the first time a player was like, how much money will I get? Yep.
Okay. I mean, it's perfect.
I don't have to play it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I would imagine he did, and he's like, I just don't understand these things. It's funny.
What's the A button?
Well, John Elway was huge. I remember it only because my
Pretty tall.
ex-stepfather, yeah,
Very
jacked, rippling.
Sorry, as you're
abs.
saying, Dylan,
tall. He's got all the posters.
he
would
was
know.
huge.
He was huge. My ex-stepfather was a huge because he came from Colorado, and he loved the Denver Broncos. I think he actually played this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
What system was it on?
Well, that's enough of a thing that you'll get parents, sports fans, just buying it for the name.
yeah. It was on the
Dads.
NES.
It's for dads.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Then I didn't play this.
Players used a spring-loaded joystick, which allowed them to control the angle and release of where they wanted to throw the ball, and it had two-player capability. So
wonder
that's
how
pretty
accurate-
sick.
I
Well, I
like the
wonder how
spring-loaded
accurate that
joystick, so you like flick it.
That's
a little
cool.
bit.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Next, we got the big boy for the early football games, and that's Tecmo Bowl.
Tecmo Bowl.
I like Tecmo Bowl.
Finally, something I know.
Yeah, 1987, developed for an arcade. The game featured a large dual-screen cabinet with up to 4 players between 2 fictitious teams, is how it started. So, started as an arcade game, was ported to the NES in 1989, and eventually to the Game Boy after the Game Boy released, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Ooh, that must have been awful on the Game Boy.
It was the first console game to include real NFL players via a license from the NFLPA, which is the National Football League Players Association.
So, no team names, but you do have real player names.
Yes.
So funny to me that those are separate.
In fact,
My name is Brett Favre, and I play for the Johnson City Jingle Bells. Yay!
Johnson City Jingle Bells. We'll go with the Johnsonville Jingle Bells. Yeah.
so yeah, this was they got the rights for players' names, but not the likeness of the team, stadiums, and logos and whatnot. The game had Bo Jackson in it, who Bo played for the Oakland Raiders. And
Yeah.
apparently he was so good that people considered it cheating in
use-
serious tournaments if you used Bo Jackson.
Yeah, I've actually.
And what they would do, these games, when they couldn't get the license for teams, it would say you're playing as, Minnesota, you're playing as Green Bay. They wouldn't say the team name, but it would be,
Home visitor.
well, and a lot of them would actually just say like the city name without having the team name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had the ability to break tackles, which was kind of groundbreaking because it's a big part of football.
Also, tackle breaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
tackle box, fishing.
In real football, in real life, you get 11 players per side.
Unless you're fucking up. Aaron Rodgers will take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Sick reference. Got it. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're
Nice,
good.
dude. You're right.
In the arcade version, you had 10. On the NES, you had 9. It contained 12 teams. Each team had 4 plays, and I found this kind of fucked up, except for San Francisco and Miami, which had 3 plays. So you're playing it at a disadvantage if you play those 2 teams.
Not if you're playing right.
Yeah, it's true.
You ever heard of
Skill?
Dan Marino?
Have you ever heard of skill?
I met Dan Marino once.
Well, this is more important than anything else we're
Well,
talking
okay.
about. Tell us about
explain.
No, I just wanted to see if you'd believe
No,
me.
hold
I never
on.
did.
Oh.
Have you met Dan Marino?
No, I lived
it.
in Florida, though.
You could have made a great story, and you just blew it.
I just wanted to see if you guys would bite.
Well,
See, the trick is to say things like that. I remember texting
well, then you make up a story.
This is a long time ago where I'm just like, guys, David Spade is here at the bar. And it's a low enough quality celebrity that someone's
Yeah.
like, that could be true.
It's possible.
If I said Robert Pattinson was at the bar, no one would believe me. But if you say David Spade, everyone's like, I guess that's possible.
He's like,
And if you were like Rob Schneider's here, people are like, who cares?
You're going too low. You
Yeah.
got to go up a little bit.
I would literally print out a Deuce Bigelow poster just so he would sign it.
It's shittiest, like
No, Deuce
overblown.
Bigelow 2, European Gigolo.
But it's like a small picture blown up to be the size of a page of paper.
It's
You
just
sign
really,
this.
it's really bad, like resolution.
Thanks, Dylan, for all of your fandom.
Yes.
Signed, Rob Schneider.
Tecmo Bowl was a big deal, though. Very successful game, and the game's reception was so great. It frequently got high reviews at the time, and Game Informer would place it at 38 out of the top 100 games of all time in 2001. After Tecmo Bowl, things start getting really muddy because a lot of people start making games. We had TV Sports Football developed in 1988, which is... It had broadcasters and that whole thing. So now we start seeing more of like a television production.
We're about to
in the game.
We're going to hit a big name though, pretty quick.
We're
right?
coming up pretty fast. Yeah. TV Sports Football was also the first game that had 11 players, and I wanted to point that out. So it took until 1988 to get all the people on the field. Arena Football came out in 1988. We're not going to talk about that.
No.
It's inside. It's not real football.
No, not real.
Cyberball.
Nice.
Let's talk. Okay.
Cyberball sounds cool, right?
This pull over. We're going to stop here for a sec.
Developed by Atari in 1988 for the Atari. It was an arcade, also on PCs. It later came to the Genesis and eventually the Xbox 360.
I played it on the Genesis.
Is this with robots?
Yes, and I took exactly what you wrote from your little synopsis and threw it in here because I thought it was hilarious.
What? Okay. What?
The year is 2022 and the last human player has been eliminated from the game. Now only robots 5 times the size of humans can withstand the violence and destruction.
This sounds like an HBO Max show.
And the CTE.
This.
And the CTE, Jesus.
You say we don't like sports.
I know what that means.
Hey, you can't get a concussion if they ain't got no brains.
So humans are dead.
Yes.
And the only ones that can withstand the sport are 5 times the size of humans. Is that what you said?
Gigantic robots. And this happened last year, guys.
So it would be like a 500-yard field. It takes place in 2022.
Yeah.
The game.
Nice.
The game
I was very excited.
I
when
missed
saw that.
out.
The game did not have a normal 4-down system like you would see in football. Instead, they had the very popular but rarely seen exploding football system, where
I had a balloon thing that functioned like that, where eventually the balloon blew up when you tossed it.
the ball would get hotter and hotter until it would eventually explode. Crossing the 50-yard line would reset the timer, so you could defuse the bomb
Once,
yes.
Oh, man.
The robots would eventually explode if they took too much damage, which was cool. They had like an actual
So do
health
people.
system.
Yeah, I've seen the Hurt Locker.
You could use money to upgrade your robots. And
you could upgrade
that's-
your robots. Okay.
Yeah, you could use money to
Can you
upgrade
get
them.
pistol arms and shit?
You got different sizes and speeds. To be honest, I did not look to see if there was any pistol arms. I'm sorry, Dylan.
But this was exciting because it's actually like the first arcadey
yes,
one where it's very much like this is set in the future with tanks, robots, and exploding footballs. And I'm into that.
This would probably be the only way to get me into sports.
You know what I think is a big travesty is the XFL never got a football game.
I got something about that at the end.
Okay.
Next, John fucking Madden.
Tough acting to acting. Now, if
Put too much mustard
are you,
on that one.
Are you chafing?
Brad whipping out the.
Damn, you had that loaded,
Wow, holy shit.
locked and loaded.
Tough acting to acting. Whenever I see John Madden, that's the only thing I think about is from those tough acting to acting commercials.
I just think of my grandpa because he looks like my grandpa.
John Madden was a great sports announcer, a great football announcer. He
He was also a very successful NFL coach.
but his
Parodied
legacy,
heavily on Mad
his
TV.
legacy to me is
Madden.
loot boxes and tough acting to acting at this point.
and the Mad TV. Who's the
Oh,
guy who
yeah.
played
Will
him?
Sasso.
Yeah.
Oh, there was also Forgot
Yeah.
about that.
Tough acting to acting.
John Madden was
Are you chafing? Sorry.
he's a very
all the time.
important person in NFL history because he's he's in the Hall of Fame for coaching. He's he's probably the best commentator that's ever existed because he would explain the game in a way that normal people could just understand.
And be entertained.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was very good. I grew up watching football with John Madden commentating, and I feel like that's why I got into it because he could explain it so a child would understand it.
I've seen your room. And I've
What's
seen the
nice
posters.
about the game that
just circle his nuts.
his involvement in the Madden video games. How
How deep is
Well,
how deep is this
Trip
connection?
Hawkins, also the guy who created the 3DO, one of the founders for EA, famous Facebook friend of mine, Trip Hawkins. He was also involved, but dude, he liked my wedding photo. I was like, this is worth it now.
Really?
Yeah, it was
I won't tell Carly.
Well, you're right. Trip Hawkins really wanted to make a football game, and
John Madden's great because he was the one who said it needs to be 11 players. This needs to happen, otherwise I'm not putting my name on it. It took a long time to make the game because John Madden put his foot down and said, if it's not this kind of a game, I'm not comfortable saying that it's my name on it. Which I don't think John Elway is like, no, I'll just take. Where's the check?
Yeah. This was also developed in 1988. So Madden's original vision for the game, the reason he endorsed it is because he wanted it to be a teaching tool. He wanted to use it to help further your knowledge of the sport and introduce younger generations who play video games to the sport. So
isn't it kind of wild now that we see like basketball players playing as themselves in video games and like that's how they spend their entire time off?
they will. There was a really good interview.
It's kind of wild.
I think it was Donovan.
I spend my free time
Dylan,
pretending I'm not doing my
Dylan,
job.
well, if you were in Fire Emblem, would you not be playing as yourself all the time?
Well, if I were that good with a sword or a spear,
It's a fantasy world. You can be good at
well,
anything.
frankly, I took the job I have because I wanted to do a Death Stranding job, and here I am. But I technically made the Unreal real.
We're proud of you.
I'm not.
So Madden, what is this? Madden 88?
Madden 88 is what they call it. They will, from this point on, refer to the John Madden football as Madden in whatever year it's supposed to come out. So
Now-
Madden 88.
Was it now after this? Is it yearly?
Not yet.
Not yet. We're getting there.
Okay.
This was a very stripped down version of the game than what later Madden would be. There was no season play. There was no licensing, which I found very odd that Madden would be willing to endorse a game that didn't have full licensing.
I think it's great, though, that he was just like, I just want the sport right. I don't care if it
That's
says
cool.
the Johnsonville Jingle Brats.
The Johnson City Jingle Bells.
I like the Johnsonville Jingle Brats, too.
Yeah, the Jingle Brats are cool.
That makes less
Like it's a
sense.
Seahawk. Sure. This is a Jingle Brat, then. Fine. You're
I'm
shaking
just
the
going to start
brats and it's
thinking.
making a
I'm
sound.
literally just going to space out and think of team names.
Well, I got you one better.
Yeah, please.
Before we get to some cool team names, I did find a little funny tidbit about this Madden game.
88?
Yeah, 88. It took 3 years to develop,
Yep.
and there was a legal issue that I didn't have the time to read about with Bethesda that caused the
Because
delay.
Bethesda was also involved, too.
Yes.
They were making Home Alone and Madden before they made Skyrim.
Trip Hawkins wanted to make a football game for a long time. He was so invested in this, and once he got Madden on board, it really felt like it was going to take off, and then you had this 3-year delay. Employees around EA and both Madden himself referred to the game as Trip's Folly with the assumption that it would never get made.
Yeah.
And it is now one of the most lucrative sport or game franchises in history.
They make so much fucking
Now,
cash.
if only Way of the Warrior would have been as successful as Madden. Imagine Way of the Warrior 99, Way of the Warrior 2003.
well, people can't handle the deep, complex lore.
It's hard to follow.
It's really hard to follow.
There's
it's
a lot of-
it's like FromSoft before FromSoft.
It's really title loaded, like front loaded with lore.
Yeah.
If you don't pay attention to that, you're just playing as some Dungaroo Danny. And you're-
Dungaroo Danny.
Yeah.
Moving forward, ABC Monday Night Football.
Hold on. The Mortonville Monkey Shines.
Damn, he's good. This game,
I'm looking up where Mortonville is. Go ahead, Tyler.
This game was a big deal because Monday Night Football was getting more and more popular after they included a Monday night game going in from the 70s into the 80s. And I didn't really look too much into up about this game. It was developed in 1989, but the best part about it is they didn't have licensing, so they had to make up team names. So they
Nice.
made up 32 team names
Like this.
with some great ones like the San Francisco Honeybees, the Pittsburgh Bells. Philadelphia's right there. And they were like, yeah, Pittsburgh.
Yeah. There's a pretty famous bell in Philadelphia.
Miami
It's true.
Sharks. That makes a lot of sense,
Miami
right?
Sharks, I'm in.
That's fine.
The Minnesota Samurais.
Wait, is it Samurais?
Yes.
I'm most honored.
Where is your Applebee's?
I mean,
I
they
hear there are twin cities here.
they do good with like the Cleveland Warriors. That sounds good, right?
Cleveland Warriors? That's not bad.
That's acceptable.
The Atlanta Monsters.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they're horrible people.
How would you like to play the Buffalo Cupids?
They're all dressed as Eileen Wuornos.
They're all just like naked.
Buffalo Cupids. They're all babies.
Yep.
And then
With wings.
I'm not going to read all 32.
But what's
No,
Green
please,
Bay?
no,
Green Bay
please do. Please. I need to hear more of these.
Okay, go for it.
All right, here we go.
I need to hear.
Anaheim Turbo, Atlanta Monsters, Buffalo Cupids, Chicago Surfers. There's a good one.
What?
Because there's a lot of surfing in Chicago.
Cincinnati Dragons, Cleveland Warriors, Dallas Swimmers, Denver Snowmen, the Denver Snowmen, Detroit Bolts, the Green Bay Armor, Houston Bisons.
Armor's not bad.
It's not bad. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's kind of
You know what they got a lot of in Indianapolis? Devil Rays. The Indianapolis Rays.
Okay.
Okay, well.
Kansas City Cyclones, which I feel like
That's
living
kinda
in
cool.
Tornado Alley is kind of a fuck you to Kansas City. Like people lose their houses and they're like, we're gonna name a team after that.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, you gotta take pride in the destructive forces.
When I think
around
about the
you.
noble samurai that I met
sharks.
living in Minneapolis, though,
the amount of men I've slain.
We have the
I have a dangerous past. Where is the Mall of America?
the LA Rockets, Miami Sharks, Minnesota Samurais,
Charles Schultz was born here.
New England Cobras, the New Jersey
Camp
Olympians.
Sorry. I'm just trying to...
I look at the log ride.
Valley Fair has a wild thing.
The New Orleans Tritons, the New York Stars, Philadelphia Justice, Phoenix
Oh,
Fighters,
the Justice is a great
name.
Yeah.
Great name.
Pittsburgh Bells, San Diego Spacehawks,
Oh, dude.
yeah.
Yes.
San Francisco Honeybees, the Seattle Ninjas, the Tampa Bay Beasts, and the Washington Knights.
The Knights is good too.
Yeah.
Mortonville is an unincorporated area and historic hamlet in Chester County, Pennsylvania.
Nice.
Next, we have a game very cleverly titled NFL. Developed
Sick.
in 1989 by Atlas for the NES. It's the first game since NFL football to get official NFL license, but not the full license. So we're still in that weird gray area where like you can use the team name, but not the players' names, or the players' names and not the team names.
We got Kremlings, but not Donkey Kong.
And the reason that they couldn't get the full rights is because the NFLPA had given exclusive rights to the team names to Tecmo Bowl, and then they went ahead and gave the NFL rights to this game. So they split them.
I mentioned this. So there's somewhere like at the NFL, they're like, we don't know what we're doing. We're just signing these names away. We should probably just figure this out.
It took them several years to figure it out.
Yeah, because they didn't realize that they were there's a lot of money to be made there.
Yeah. And now we move into the 90s. Vanilla Ice is pumping through your car speakers, and you're playing Joe Montana football, where the only person you know is Joe Montana.
He was a quarterback.
Yeah.
I knew that.
Big deal. That came out in 1990.
Joe Montana was in Baby's Day Out, but Joe Montana was a football player. Joe Montana, though, big fan. Baby's Day Out, famously filmed in Chicago.
Oh man, I've got a few apology letters to write.
Tell us about football.
Next, we got Madden 90. John Madden 90. This was a big deal, released by EA.
It's my birth year.
It was released on the Sega Genesis and the SNES. First of what would become a yearly release. So now
it's yearly.
Moving forward, we get a Madden every single year. It was only expected to sell around 70,000 units, and it ended up selling 400,000. This was a big deal for the Sega Genesis because it helped them keep up with the SNES.
Yeah. Makes sense. That's
It was
interesting.
also the first game to use the current passing mechanic that still exists in Madden today, where receivers are assigned to buttons.
I think that's a great way to do that.
That's a big deal though, because once that mechanic caught on in 90,
That pretty much stuck.
it has not left. That is how
And that was the
football
last
games are played.
innovation in
They're all
Madden
just face
football
buttons.
games.
They're square, triangle, and
Yeah, it's square, triangle, circle, R1, L1 usually.
Okay.
If you're on a PlayStation
Yeah.
controller.
Then
for the parlance.
And the parlay of our times. The parlance of our times. Sure. Parlay. We watched Pirates of the Caribbean a little bit last night. I don't know.
1991, we get another first in football history.
Uh-oh.
Tecmo Super Bowl comes out December 1991 for the
And you can
NES.
only play the Super Bowl. I understand.
This was
There's only two teams, but really good game.
It's the first game that was licensed by the NFL and the NFLPA. So this is allowed to use the names and attributes of real NFL teams and players.
How many of these have you played? It's a bigger question.
I've played pretty much everything from Madden 1999 or Quarterback Club 97 and on.
I've probably played about 8 of these. None of it that we've talked. I played Tecmo Bowl. Is the only one so far we've talked about.
I like Tecmo Bowl.
My dad got me my first gaming system, but he used it because he was also in his 20s. So he liked football. We played a lot of football games.
Yeah.
Tecmo Super Bowl was a big deal. It ended up coming to the Genesis in '93. Almost every team wasn't included. They didn't have the full NFL roster. Had bigger playbooks.
Dylan, calm down. Dylan's really worked up about this.
What I found really weird is
They didn't include Green Bay, which sucks.
Oof.
this game on the SNES has a cult following, like to this day.
Really?
Yeah, Tecmo Super Bowl is a good game.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of the most modified NES games there is with emulation now.
They had like LeBron James in to make it modern.
Yeah, no, seriously, people
Bugs Bunny.
people update rosters and add players.
Elmer Fudd,
Oh, yeah.
good
be
stats. Good stats.
No, there's websites dedicated to pickup games, updating rosters. There's online leagues and message boards still.
Some people never let go of the things they love.
NFL Films actually made a documentary about video games and about this video game and its cult following, centering on the annual World Championship tournament held in Madison, Wisconsin.
Wow.
And interviews from former players Emmett Smith and Phillip Rivers discuss their love for this particular game.
Is there a
How much
Pikachu
money
in
did
it?
they make to say that they loved it?
Probably enough.
Yeah, probably.
At
to
least
say
enough.
it. I mean, I'll shill for anything.
We got
well
another
known.
Madden in '93. We got Bill Walsh.
Wait, this is the first one that I physically own.
Oh, you do have that one.
I don't know why. I think this was a garage pickup or someone just like, I have old games. Do you want them? I wasn't sure I owned any football games when I went to the stacks over here, but I do own John Madden 93. This is a Sega Genesis cartridge, but it's the weird one that's like taller and it's got like a yellow.
I don't like the yellow thing.
Yeah.
Also, this is not yet when Madden has rights to team names.
Nope,
So
not yet.
the famous player 93 is on the cover.
Yeah, he's my favorite.
Yep.
Yeah.
As you were saying though,
You bought it because it was the first game to include the no huddle offense, I assume.
I wasn't sure, and then I found out about that, and I said, if it's free, I'll take it.
Sweet.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a big deal. Bill Walsh College Football came out in 1994 for the Genesis. It's the
Big
first.
fan of Bill Walsh.
He was the coach for Stanford. This game included Stanford and several players, but it's the first college.
I only
football game.
follow water.
Yeah,
polo.
we don't do college.
What?
Sports.
I do water
College
polo.
sports isn't real. It's more like they're there to learn about like.
I love their-
They're
I
there
agree
for
with you.
education.
Yeah.
I love their rowing team.
You know what is very real? Mutants. Mutant Football
Mutant
League.
League football.
Yeah.
We
Why
have-
don't they make more video games like this?
I know, this would be great. Mutant Football League, developed in 1993 by EA for the Sega Genesis, used the Madden 93 engine. It takes place in a post-apocalyptic world where radiation has caused the human race to mutate and the dead to rise from their graves.
Good.
Nice.
The game's instruction manual states the exact causes of the upheaval have been lost or corrupted due to, among many things, an alien invasion, spin control, a sloppy filing system set up by a temp, and what appears to be barbecue sauce. Don't know what that means,
What?
but that's what happened.
Oh, now I'm intrigued. I'm gonna play this.
This game was cool because it had hazards on the field. There was like landmines and fire pits that you could run
Oh
into.
yeah, I've seen clips. I've
There
never
were
played it.
jetpacks. The field was made of like ice or rock or rubber, which would be terrible on your knees. Imagine the ACL and MCL injuries if you're playing on rubber.
So
I don't know. Sounds
I
fun.
want to bring up something Dogcast related. Back in the day, there were these other hosts on the Dogcast. Their names were Tom and Josh. We'd like to have Josh on still.
R.I.P.
Tom, we don't get access to him. He's locked away in that home.
No.
But in Midwest Gaming Classic,
home.
in Midwest Gaming Classic 2018, Tom and Josh interviewed Tim, Mr. Boom Shakalaka Kitzrow, the famous voice from NBA Jam, and Michael Mentime for the Mutant Football League. So there was a modern take on the Mutant League games. Sorry, but it's just about this lead designer for that 16-bit classic Mutant League football for the Sega Genesis. So if you want to know more about that game specifically, the Dogcast has an interview with one of the designers. This is before our time.
We don't talk about Tom anymore.
But Tom says, so press play and buckle up, little doggies, because this one is a crazy fun ride. signed Tom Wagner. So
man, I'm sure
It was a crazy ride because you got jetpacks. You could kill the other team. You could bribe the ref, and he would call like fake penalties on the other team for several
Do you
plays.
bribe him with handies or something? Like,
they'll take it.
I guess so.
what does money mean in a post-apocalypse?
Yeah, we're on the barter system for real.
I'll give you 5 bundles of wheat.
Madden 90.
We are the Minnesota Samurai. We are a noble people.
We got Madden 95 came out now.
I own the case of this game, but not the game.
It is the
$10.
It is.
You got to take off that $10 sticker.
But look at this.
Someone will buy
It
that.
also came with, besides the manual, 2 different playbooks here. I don't know much about it. It says Green Bay the pack is making a switch to a 4-3 defense. That's the way that they line up in the backfield to feature their 2 super defensive ends. So if you're curious, I don't know if the Space Hawks are in this game or not.
Oh, they're not.
No samurai either.
No samurai. So that's why I haven't played a Madden game since they quit using Space Hawks.
All right, I've got one.
This is the
Wait,
first.
wait.
Hold on. The Thornton Tingleberries.
Well, you use okay. I'll give it to you, but Tingle and Jingle are too close.
I like
Fine.
the alliteration though.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'll
I
come
prefer
up with another one.
Dingleberries. The Detroit Dingleberries would be great.
The Detroit. Well, I just want fake.
The mascot
Well,
just has a whole bunch of dangles.
I still like the what was it? The jingle.
The Johnson
The Johnsonville jingle.
Johnsontown Jingle
Rods?
Bells.
the Blasford Busta-Nuts.
Yeah. Now I'm back.
I'm revving on all cylinders.
I played fantasy football one year
Should have
against.
played the Blasford Busta-Nuts.
Blasford Busta-Nuts.
I played fantasy football one year against the guy who named his team the Salt Lake City Jesuses.
I didn't know what the plural of Jesus would be, but
The Salt Lake City Brigham Youngs.
yeah.
1990,
And some of those Mormons like them young. Am I right? Bring them young.
1995 Madden is the first Madden to get the licensing for both the PA and the Players Association and the NFL. And this is going to be ultimately the downfall foreshadowing of football games. Troy Aikman decided to throw his likeness on the cover in 1994. Emmitt Smith did the same thing the following year. Sterling Sharp was a famous Packer wide receiver.
He got his own game.
Yes, Sterling Sharp end to end in 1995 on the SNES.
Good for you, Sterling.
Tecmo Super...
He's a big fan of ours. He actually listens.
Really?
No.
Good for him.
Yep.
Tecmo Super Bowl 3 Final Edition came out August 1995 for the Genesis and the SNES.
It's bad when you say it's the final edition and then you have to make a statement like, it's not the last one, guys.
Yeah.
Even though it would be almost the last
Final Edition refers to it being the last football game Tecmo would make on a 16-bit system. And by golly, they were right because the next one they made was on the DS in 2008.
Whoa.
So
Stands for dual screen, famously.
they also had both NFL and NFLPA licensing.
That's not what I say.
Then the following year, we get the inclusion of NFL Game Day, which was the first PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah, there's a lot of games.
Yep. NFL Quarterback Club, and then Madden keeps pumping them out. Then all of a sudden, we start getting College Football USA, which is that had all 111 Division A teams, which is crazy.
Now, I can understand why I physically own some of these Madden games. How I ever came to own NCAA football 1998 for the PlayStation 1, I will never understand.
I had this game.
The case is broken, but it's from EA Sports.
It's in the game.
At least they used to be back then. Everything was in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're going to fast forward a little bit to 2004. The only thing that came out between this college football game and the 2004 was like NFL Blitz came out, which is Midway's arcade game.
We have to mention NFL Blitz. That is a big one.
Blitz is fun.
The cabinet actually had a slot that you could plug in your N64 game pack to
Oh, what
and
the fuck?
upload a playbook,
Yeah.
Damn it.
which was cool. It also, no penalties, no rules. You could drop kick dudes. It was awesome.
Yeah. I like hurting people.
Late hits was just fun.
Yeah. Oh my God. That was the jam.
I think Blitz is the only one I was goaded into playing where I actually felt like I wanted to play it
Because it
by like neighborhood kids.
it
like
wasn't about simulation.
it wasn't a simulation and it was arcadey. This is like with racing games. I don't like hardcore like you gotta like shift gears type of racing game. I just want to make those turns, baby, and pretend I'm a Fast and Furious character. With this, it's like, yeah, hurt him. Who cares?
Yeah. Yeah.
Give them concussions, they'll go home and they'll kill their wife.
Chris Benoit.
Jesus. 1999.
It's a serious problem, Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler. We're not
Hey.
going to talk about CTEs at all in this
Yeah,
episode.
he also had CT. No, I'm an NFL show.
What if Madden added that feature like, see what happens to your player in 10 years?
Instead of an
God.
anti-vaxxer, he's like, I don't think it exists.
You know they've removed concussions from current Madden games, correct?
They used to be in the game, but
They removed them.
that's problematic. I think it's taking away from the simulation aspect.
Yeah, I want it. Yeah, it definitely is.
I don't want them to get concussions.
So now,
I'm not saying I want them to,
No, I do.
but I'm saying that they do.
I'm saying they need them.
I was really excited that I thought there was going to be a pull-out poster for Madden 95, but it was just like a playbook.
You could still hang it up.
Because if it was just like John Madden holding a pen and I could write in tough accent and accent on it, I'd frame
be
it.
up.
Well, there's
real
a really
fast.
cool. There's a really cool picture of him in the pregame
Section
show
of the manual.
Yeah, hold on.
So Dylan is looking through the Madden
Just
95 instruction manual. Okay.
I just think it's a really nice. It cuts a nice portrait of him.
Yeah.
that's
good.
that's the title screen where you can go start
Yeah,
game.
look at the size of his rings.
Yeah, I'd get an 8x10 of that.
Can you make my rings back?
What coach? What team did he coach for?
The Raiders.
Oh, okay.
Dirty team. Dirty team.
The year is 1999 now, and I have skipped some games, but
9
No,
years
we can
old.
skip a lot of games.
yeah, we're skipping games now. The year is 1999, and you have a full history of all the fucking sports games that have come out. We now
There's
have
Fever. There's game day.
yearly game day every year, quarterback club every year, NCAA football every year, Madden every year, Fever every year, Blitz 2 came out.
A lot of Final Fantasy games.
yes. Wait.
There's two.
But you know also
Mario, very popular.
also what happened in 1999?
Donkey Kong.
Mario's NFL Football 98.
No, I was in kindergarten.
John Mario Football. We'll take
John Mario?
Yeah.
No. 1999, I'm in kindergarten. I go over to my friend's house and I see a Dreamcast for the first time.
Okay, now we're talking.
And
Now
what is my friend playing? He's playing
Sonic Adventure 2?
No, he's playing a little game.
I'm going to
called-
cut it to the music of Sonic Adventure.
Yeah, he was playing just Sonic. It was great.
Yep. Okay, he was playing.
NFL 2K.
2K was a big deal.
2K is a big deal. The
What
series
does 2K represent?
It stands for 2000.
Whoa.
because this game came out in 1999.
That's wrong.
They always come out a year earlier.
Yep. Series was introduced by Sega to address the EA Sports decision not to publish games like Madden, for example, on the Dreamcast. The game dropped September 9th, 1999.
EA hated Sonic famously.
Yeah, included all 31 teams. This was like a bomb because it was fun as hell. It was way better than Madden. And I didn't have a Dreamcast, though. So instead, I got Madden 2000, which came out in August.
Disappointing.
I got that on the PlayStation. You could do hot routes. It was
Man,
pretty
your
cool.
parents bought you a bunch of video games.
The CD-ROM for Madden 2000 had an unnamed track by Ludacris on it, which I don't know why that was in.
Have they ever discovered the name?
No.
Luda,
Lost
if
the
you're
time.
listening, let us know.
Luda, let's be friends.
The only reason I put that in my notes is because Madden 2000, the Green Bay Packers have the best overall in the game at 94.
They had just won the Super Bowl in '98.
Yeah, famously, Brett Favre has to have special genes for his dick size.
Wranglers. Got to wrangle that thing in.
His horrible looking dick is so funny.
What's next, Tyler?
Madden 01 confirmed the Madden curse. Do we all know what the Madden curse is?
It's
if
where
you're on
if
the-
you
if
give
you're on the cover,
more money you give to EA, the more they'll take.
Yeah. So I made a list real fast of some of the very early. I didn't do all of them, but just like
Cuba Gooding Jr.
19.
Koopa. That's a good Bowser.
No, Cuba.
I know.
It's pronounced Cuba. It's not Cuba.
Koopa?
He calls himself
Magic
Cuba.
Koopa?
King Cuba.
The Madden curse was confirmed with Madden 01, and then it went on for a while.
Dante Culpepper.
Yes, Dante Culpepper would all of a sudden suck, and then he had a
Such
knee injury.
sick name.
Turns out he always sucks.
The funniest one when you're doing I was looking at all the Madden curses, and it's usually they got hurt the following season, and then blah, blah, blah. Brett Favre is on the cover of Madden 2009, and I was like, I'm a Packer fan. I know exactly what happened. You know how the
Is
Madden
that when he
curse?
was a giant?
He got traded to the Jets. That's his Madden curse.
Oh, it was the Jets.
Yeah, because he retired, then unretired, and then got
Okay.
shipped. Now, at this point, rather than go through every fucking game that's ever been made,
2005.
we can talk about 2004, 2005.
This is when shit gets
Yes.
fucked up. ESPN 2K5 This is what is still considered by many people to be the creme de la creme, the best football game ever made.
It's not even the best football game. I think it is the best sports simulation game of all time. I played this game so much.
What's the magic butter in this sauce? What's going on?
This was when there was competition, so people had to be innovative. They had to try hard.
Oh, okay.
And what they were doing also at the time were trying to cut into Madden's dominance. So this game released for $20 brand new.
Which would ultimately be the downfall. So
that's not the downfall.
From the NFL's point of view, because what ended up happening is you drop the game for $20, and then Madden did not sell very well because that's still priced at $50. So Madden...
They actually dropped it down to $30 to compete.
Yeah. But moving forward, the NFL was like, allegedly...
We don't know the whole story here.
I do.
EA ends up buying the exclusive rights to the NFL. They are the only people now that can make an NFL game.
If you want to have Jerry Rice's pro football with his dogs, you can, but you can't use team names or current players.
Yes. EA will claim that the NFL came to them for exclusivity first and that they didn't court the NFL.
How much did they pay the NFL, though?
$300 to $400 million.
So EA says, we're not competing anymore. We're going to buy exclusive rights. Everyone's going to make a buttload of money, and we don't have to try at all anymore. Our games can be the same game, small innovations maybe.
An extension.
They were still trying for a while, but...
The other side of that coin that I've read from a couple different sources over the years, because I've looked back at this on my own, just trying to figure out what happened because I hate Madden. There's reports that the NFL was upset that 2K dropped the price to $20 because then they don't see as much money on their end for the game and giving their licensing out. They wanted that game to be premium quality, $50 pricing.
And it hurts. I mean...
So for 2K to do that, it pissed off the NFL. So
also, Madden is going cheaper too. So overall, it's just the NFL is making less money. So yeah, I could see them...
Aren't they charging $70 now?
Yes. Yeah. And then some if you do the Ultimate Team.
If you want to get the full playbook, you actually have to get these things called loot boxes. And
God. Yeah.
But I cannot stress enough how good this game was. From the franchise mode, you could play multiple seasons. There was free agency. You could hire and fire coaches.
Classic plays from history.
Yep. And the AI just worked better. If you wanted to throw
the old loop around, the Jimmy splits, the hang glider,
a nice post fade.
Oh, that was great.
Oh man, this game was fantastic.
I watched a 15-minute video today about how this was the height of football video games.
It had a halftime show with Chris Berman, and it would be like, "All right, this is what's going on in the league," and then full presentation, full ESPN graphics.
Was this for the 360?
PlayStation 2, Xbox.
Okay.
Yep. And I definitely used to own it. I don't have it anymore, so I don't know where
it is. If you have a copy of it, it is very expensive now.
Oh, really?
I mean, for sports games,
highly coveted.
I don't know. Yeah, it's very. Yeah. Or
if it's supposed to be the best, yeah.
Or old NCAA games, because in 2014 they stopped making college football games because they weren't able to use the likeness of college players.
I would throw this and add a sound effect.
Just eat the disc.
But there is... So 2K made a great...
The Tostitos Fiesta Bowl is referenced in the back of this PS1 game. Sorry, as you're saying.
What a weird bowl game. There is hope for 2K, though, that they might actually get to make a football game again because the XFL is hanging on by a thread. And if they wanted to make a video game, 2K is right there. And now, moving forward, the NCAA and the players have agreed to a likeness contract.
Finally, we can get the team that Gene Simmons from Kiss
endorses.
Called the Kiss.
The Kansas City Kiss.
No, I think it's a... Is it?
I don't know. I thought we were making up a team.
I'm not making it up. I literally Can you look this up, Tyler? An XFL team.
The Manchester Midwives
is owned by Gene Simmons.
Okay.
And it's called the Kiss.
Well, that seems pretty egotistical.
If this ever loads, I'll let you know.
Okay. Well,
yeah, the Los Angeles Kiss.
I hate that. But
I
guess it's a
it was an arena football team.
Oh, well,
it's a callback to the old days of hugs and kisses when that used to be how they showed them on the screen was be hugs and kisses.
It's like AEW and WWE, the World Wildlife Federation. Yeah. I can't keep up with all these acronyms, and people need to stop using acronyms, frankly.
EA's domination of the NFL license has been detrimental to every football video game for sure. That has happened since then. They've gotten lazy because they can. They know that they can do this yearly because people will buy it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if they do any more updating. They used to. They moved to the Frostbite engine in 2018. And as we talked about in our Mass Effect episode, that is bad. The Frostbite engine is not good.
I know, and it's definitely hurt the playability of the game. The gameplay is not as smooth as it used to be.
Well, what they go for is like Frostbite is supposed to be mostly about physics, things moving on screen when you move by them or like affecting them. Just seems like the weight.
Just stay with Unreal. Just
Yeah.
pay the license.
Oh my God, just use Unreal.
But yeah, like I said, there's still hope for 2K to make a game because now they can start making college football games again. There's the XFL, so there's hope.
They don't have. I'm sure it'll be a good game. It will never be as big as it should be.
No.
And sadly, it does feel like football video games, at least to many people, peaked in 2004, 2005.
Yep, and since then it has been all downhill. And I'm not going to read
Jerry Rice's Dog Football for the Nintendo Wii.
That's pretty good.
Is the only good thing that's ever happened since then.
Yeah.
Instead of going over what they added to every Madden game moving forward from 05, they didn't add anything. Instead, they just started taking shit away.
Yeah.
There is a post if you want to, maybe I'll just drop it in the Discord if anybody's interested in reading the whole list on Reddit of all the missing features from Madden 23 that existed in the game at some point.
There's a lot.
And it is a long list. There is currently 77 things that existed at one point and are now gone. For instance, create a team, no longer there. Historical.
What? Really? That
Yep.
seems like such a basic thing.
Cannot create a team. Historical and all-time teams have been removed. This is something that still exists in 2K NBA. You can play as all-time or historic teams. You can no longer create a play. No off-season training camp. No licensed defensive, offensive coordinators, special team coordinators.
Throwing the
playables.
ball costs an extra $1 every time.
Ability to backload, front load a contract. They have a franchise mode where you're paying people millions of dollars, and you used to be able to backload or front load a contract so that you
While
could
a starving
afford.
baby cries in the corner.
Yeah. NFL Europe teams once they went away.
The Manchester
removed.
Binglenauts.
Oh, that's pretty good. Vingelknots? Yeah, I like that.
Sure.
I like Vingelknots, but it's too close to Jingle.
You're right.
Every position is no longer
Man
playable
Woodies.
in career mode.
The Man Woodies.
The Manchester Man Woodies.
That's pretty good.
Man,
Here's my pitch. I've got a pitch right now. I've got a pitch for a new game. Imagine babies football.
Imagine party football.
Imagine-
Imagine football babies
Imagine party babies football.
with real concussions. That'd be on the sticker on the front.
with real kids.
Yes.
This time with 50% more CTE.
From our Discord,
Wham, wham. My head is soft.
Josh does agree the best sim-style football game goes to NFL 2K5. And besides that, we have a lot of talk about NFL Blitz the League, and
Blitz the
NFL
League is-
Street 2.
I didn't get into Blitz and Street because this was already getting really long.
It's really
that
gonna
might
hurt
be
when you get tackled on the street.
It would, because they don't wear pads in that game.
No.
But it was awesome because you could like run and jump off the wall, spin 360 and catch the ball. You might like it.
No, we wouldn't. Stick with Fire Emblem, Dylan.
I like Super Mario Strikers.
But Brett Favre wears a beanie hat.
Imagine if Mario could
so
go
cool.
toe-to-toe with Brett Favre in a football game.
Dude, I would play that.
Yeah, no. Sports, football video games are very near and dear to my heart because I've played about 1 million of them.
I was going to say
And I will say,
the worst joke I think I've ever
We-
thought of.
we have talked about sports video games a lot on the Dogcast recently, arcade sports, and we did a few other sports episodes. So we'll let our fans know there won't be another sports episode for at least a year.
Oh, I'm down with that.
Okay.
Reading about this, I like football, and this was mind numbing at a certain point.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Oh, I mean, like, they're ubiquitous. We need someone on the team, our team.
Yeah.
The Milwaukee masturbators.
Milwaukee Mastodons. Famous.
That's actually, I mean, I like masturbators, but
Do you guys hear that? Lake Michigan, they found like a Stonehenge like circle in the bottom of Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Like
Are
a
you
week
serious?
ago.
yeah, they found one.
Was it like that? You remember that guy that put a Jason Voorhees body at the bottom
Yeah.
of a lake to scare people? It could be something like that.
It's in Crystal
No.
Lake, Minnesota.
Oh,
yeah.
really? You know where it's at?
It's in, it's Crystal Lake, Minnesota.
I mean, it
that's why I
makes
remember
sense.
the name.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No, we need, well, someone's got to like these games. I mean, Brad, you have like nominal.
I don't give a fuck about football games.
You have experience with them more than me.
I know I
certainly.
do have experience, and if it wasn't the EA stranglehold on that franchise, I'd be interested still.
Sure.
But the fact that I know that the games are no longer interesting or good, I'm checked out.
You know
I
what's
haven't bought one since like 2018, I think.
It's
Well,
because
you
you're still
know-
playing the same game.
You
Like,
know,
yeah.
well, you know what's fucked up? I've been playing Dead Space, and it's an EA game, and they haven't asked me for shit. I just am playing the video game.
It's very
Here it is.
weird.
It was almost kind of a mind blow. Like I was like, holy shit! All right, I can just do this.
Also, you know what blows my mind is that everybody wants to do a live service game and it never works. The perfect opportunity
Fortnite
to
did.
do a live service game would be a football or a sports game.
Oh, honestly,
You
yeah,
just
you're
update
right.
the rosters,
Yeah.
you keep whatever players or team you got,
Less
and then
money.
you keep building.
They're not making enough money that way.
I know, but it's
They
stupid.
have to do a full price release once a year, same assets. Don't even update the fucking years on some of the advertisements because they don't. Inside the game, there's been like advertisements
Yeah.
that say the previous year and they didn't update it because they're just copy pasting.
All they're doing is updating rosters and applying New Jersey skins, and that is it.
Dylan, what's your favorite football video game?
Ooh, Sonic.
I'm just gonna say just Sonic. Well, just Sonic.
No, I tease. Probably Tecmo Bowl because I just think it's solid. I don't know. Like it's one I remember playing. It like for anything, maybe Blitz. Blitz kind of
Blitz
worked
was
for me
cool.
for the N64. I really liked that.
I like that you could like inject steroids into your player to get him back on the field
Yeah,
if he
that's
broke his
hot.
leg. Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
And you could like purposely
That's
injure other players.
No, that's just adrenaline.
I'm gonna
legal
go. I'm gonna go.
purposes, we
Jerry
have to say
Rice's dog football.
Yeah.
Yeah, only because the Airbud franchise never made a football game.
My favorite quarterback is Fifi.
She's great. As far as quarterbacks go, Fifi is one of the better ones.
Yeah.
Tyler, how about you?
NFL 2K or NFL Street 2.
NFL Street 2. We'll have to play that together. You'll have to teach me.
Yeah, it was a
We
lot
think
of fun.
you'd love it. If you like Fire Emblem, you'd love
Right down your
NFL
alley.
Street 2.
They're essentially the same game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. What's the main character's stats like?
His name's Brett Favre, and he's got a 99-99. He throws the ball real far. Puts a lot of mustard
They
on
call
it.
him Gunner. Clever.
Well, now they call him fraud because he stole a fucking $5 million from poor people in Mississippi.
They call him Pistol Whip.
They
Just
call
look
him,
at the text message. What do you think of the picture?
His hideous ogre penis. Just
Brett Favre is a Southern accent for some
flopping.
reason too.
he does
his-
that. He's from Mississippi.
Well, color me surprised.
he is, yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought he was from great football games.
And he suffers from crooked penisitis.
Yep.
Well,
This has been Hair of the Dogcast. Thanks, everybody.
no, there's more of an outro that you have to do.
I don't have it memorized
Oh,
yet.
you can't do it?
Thank you for listening to Hair of the Dogcast. We are part of the Tokyo Beat Podcast Network. Check them out for other great shows.
Sure.
And also...
That's not a point to question.
Yeah, okay. No, I don't have it memorized yet. But that's something along those lines.
If you want more...
There we go. He's got
If you
it.
want access to episodes early, bonus episodes, exclusive podcasts, we have a whole movie podcast we do called Popcorn Dogs. Check out patreon.com/Hair of the Dogcast. And if you wanted to write or leave a review, we would definitely appreciate it. And if you want to reach out to us, you can go to hairthedogcast@gmail.com or Facebook and Instagram, Hair the Dogcast. We're on Twitter @HotDogcast. And if you have any questions about football, Dylan will answer them.
I will gladly answer them.
And
every single one. I'll do it. You might not like the answers because I'm a bit of a renegade, but I'm a strategist.
Yeah, and if you're in the Discord, throw out a couple cities. Dylan can come up with some more team names for you.
We would love
Honestly, I
that.
probably will. Yeah, that'd be great.
Next week will be Elden Dogs, where we will be going to the Halig tree, finally. And following that, we'll have a Raw Dogs. Don't know the topic of that one yet. Maybe God of War Ragnarok, maybe something else. So,
I
We're going
could
to
do
cover the
Dylan-
history of
I could do-
soccer and sports games.
Well, I could
in
do-
2 years, maybe. We're doing. Dylan has talked about sports more than he's ever talked about.
I actually was quite competent.
Dylan, do you want to come to my brother's Super Bowl party?
We're coming.
You know,
We have to drive an hour and a half.
Everyone looks forward to the yearly Dogcast Super Bowl special.
Oh my God. If we recorded, I'm in.
Oh, actually, if I bought WrestleMania and hosted a WrestleMania party without any knowledge of what's going on in WrestleMania, would you guys go?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, fuck yeah. I've been pitching that idea for a minute now.
I would do it.
Either
that
that or
sounds
we just
great.
go to Vanguard.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'd be into it.
Either way, we're in.
Dope.
The Chattanooga choo-choo trains.
Bye,
for listening,
everybody.